It's Monday, and many are saying it might be the start of a new era in the IPL. We'll debate that and much more in episode 73 of the Monday Night Live podcast on cricket.com. My name's Avanish, back in the comfortable RCB red after me wearing CSK in that watch along for the first time in my life for Tala. But look, we'll talk about Tala and lots more. We have, of course, a CSK fan and the cricket expert we love, Nikhil Popat, joining us in this Monday Night Live. And we have Akshay Kumaraswamy, who has a lot to say, despite doing 3 watch-alongs with me on the weekend. Right, boys, how are you first and foremost? Nix, it's been a while since I've seen you. All good, despite CSK's back-to-back defeats?
Yeah, all good. I think not taking too much to heart. You shouldn't. It's a game, and that's how it should be. There are clear areas to work on, which you will see very soon on this very channel. So stay tuned for that as well. And yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's a game. It will happen.
It will happen. Festivities galore in India. Remember, we did wish you a really warm day in terms of the whole festival down south. And we will wish you today as well. Eid Mubarak to everyone from Monday Night Live and cricket.com's teams. Akshay, how's it going for you? I know you're keeping an eye on the MI-KKR game, which we'll talk about right now. But all well? How's it going?
Yep, all well, just IPL. I mean, we all know how much I love the IPL. It's very hard for me to not be well during the IPL. Been a very interesting game so far. Also had a chat with Nikhil Bhai and Somesh earlier today. That's what Nikhil Bhai was alluding to. So do stay tuned on our channel. Oh, we almost look at that. And yeah, you'll be seeing some interesting conversations on the whole Tala Dhoni CSK debate there. But yeah, all well. Cricket's going good. I'm going good. Yeah.
Okay, super. We're not doing a watch along, remember, for today because the best podcast in cricket is with you right now. Guys, lots to talk about. Like I have made myself clear in the opening bits, and I'll make myself even more clear because the woeful retentions bit in the title is true. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to figure out if Daniel Vittori and Stephen Flemings have respective plans for their teams. Both of them have spoken. We'll give you insight of what they've had to say, and we'll also allude to the winners of the week, which has gone by: RCB, Punjab, and not to forget Delhi Capitals, 2 on the trot for their owners to make them happy even more in Vizag. Lots of people already commenting about the game going on right now, the MI-KKR game. Asmat saying absolute carnage at Wankhede, and Pandey in means Vaibhav Arora out. Pandey ji har baar MI ke against aa jata hai, saying Abbas Kunde. He's a big MI fan, right? Lots to talk about in terms of the IPL. That's going to be obviously our cup of tea for the next couple of months on MNL. And we'll start with this game, guys, because MI going into this clash with 2 defeats and no points yet on the table, Akshay. They've got the toss, and that's a big factor tonight at the Wankhede. And so far, everything's panned out. The debutants come in, Ashwini Kumari, the left armer, he's done well. Chahar's taken a wicket. They've held on to catches remarkably. So now, either MI juggernaut back or, again, very early in the piece to say anything about a team who's won nothing so far.
Yeah, I mean, too soon to make a call like that. It would be a very bold prediction if someone went as far as to say that the MI juggernauts well and truly begin. Good start nonetheless for them. We'd always spoken about this. Bowling first, Sandelites at the Wankhede would suit MI's bowling attack with the likes of Bolt and Chahar there. And that's what's basically happened over here. Not helped by the fact that KKR batters themselves, sort of the kind of shot selection they went for. Narayan was always, Narayan, it was more a question of when rather than why. Ki kab wo hoega, and I'm expecting the change to happen soon enough, maybe in the next couple of games. Something we also spoke about during the season preview where, Narayan being able to repeat or replicate his 2024 season seemed very unlikely. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically happening in front of us. And also with Quinton de Kock, personally not been the greatest of fans.
Forget
of him.
Quinton. I'm pushing out all the clips right now, comments-wise, for Venky Iyer, because you were just like, yeah, 23.75 crores, worth it in the auction to me.
Again, bhai, matlab,
no.
Avanish has really mastered the art of putting words in my mouth. I didn't say it was worth it. I never said he was worth it.
You've shared a reel.
I'll say what I said. I'll say what I said.
One second. You can come in here. Okay. You've shared a reel recently to, of course, bemoan me and Nix in terms of MS Dhoni, but now the egg on your face with Venky Iyer as well. Yes, of course you did.
First of all, that reel wasn't. I never put up that reel with the intention of putting you voted. No, that was never the intention. And again, Avani is just classic, भाई. मतलब किसी को अगर ट्रक के नीचे डालना है तो कोई भाई अवनी से आके
And
सीखो. And
Nani
he's never
Kofod, he wanted it. Nani Kofod, he
Picasso.
wanted it at the time. Go see the auction. He wanted it.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. Of course, I'm okay. To be clear, what I said was it wouldn't have been the worst of buys. RCB needed someone like that in the top order. I could see where they were coming from. All that. That's all I was saying. At no point in time did I say he's worth 23.75 crores. Please go for
Okay,
it.
how much is he
All
worth?
I
But
said
you
was,
said he was worth over 15 crores.
yeah, and I'd still say that there is a lot of potential there, especially. अरे भाई वांगखेड़े surface अलग है, conditions अलग है, चिन्नस्वामी surface अलग है. How can like you can't simply connect the two and say अरे नहीं ये कैसे हो गया?
But he got
Huh.
found out, didn't he, so far at the KKR as well?
KKR, how's the surface been like so far? Tell me,
But
has
so
it been
far,
like how it was?
Krunal Pandya got in his mind. The second game, what did they do? They went to RR and they won there. But did he
में
contribute?
decide
He
कर
did.
लिया season कैसा होने वाला है.
I'm just
तीन game
saying.
में
I'm just
decide हो
saying.
गया.
We'll watch this space. We'll watch this space.
I
That's all I'm
know.
trying to say.
Even if he goes on to have a horrible season, that does not change anything, bhai. Again, we cannot focus like back then. Things were different. Back then, the situation was different. अगर कोई मुझे आके बोलता कि 6 महीने बाद ऐसा होगा तो of course it's so easy to say in hindsight अरे ये क्या हो गया आज अगर सेंचुरी मार देता तो क्या would you have agreed with me then? No, right?
No.
You would still
No.
Exactly. So what's the point of
I would have been
discussing
like he
this
got
now?
lucky. I would have been like he got lucky because
So I'd say he's gotten unlucky then. As simple as that. By the way, what's
Look,
his
okay,
comment?
fine.
Akshay said he hates Tala. Bhai yaar, kuch to matlab. Nikhil bhai, I really need you to come and have I ever said I hate MS Dhoni? I really want to know. Have I ever
Yes.
said that?
yes.
नहीं भाई ये we need to diversify people and say कि भाई हाँ ठीक है हाँ पहले ये करो don't go on the line of hating on someone. We are all entitled to our opinions and this is too
Exactly.
early to take a call on anything. Forget teams, even individual players. It's very, very early. I can promise you now, if you want, take this in writing, the IPL will not end how it has started. And this is not pertaining to any teams or any players. Just wait. रुको थोड़ा.
There's a lot
Be
of roller
happy with
coaster
if your favorite
twists
team
and
begun
turns.
well. Be happy if your favorite team not
Yeah.
begun well. Just stay there. Stay there. And importantly, let me put this out there. There are very few players who I would go as far as to say I hate them. Very few. And none that I can recollect online. Dhoni, I've always said, again, as much as I criticize him, I'll be the first one to say he is the best guy. I can't keep stressing on that again and again, but I'll continue to say that I admire MS Dhoni, the captain. And I'll never change. Nothing can change that. But yeah.
Once I will come to the CSK talk and Tala talk in just a bit. Let's just, of course, get into those MI-KKR predictions and talk about MI a little bit as well. First and foremost, what's going to happen in this game? Do you think MI is going to get the points, yes or no?
After this, if they don't get, then I will be very worried if I am in the MI camp, especially after this start. But I don't think the due is going to be as evident. So if it stays like this and if there is new ball movement in the second innings as well, then I'm very keen to see how MI start. But at this point of time, it looks 70-30 comfortably in MI's favor. Let's see.
Okay. Akshay, what do you think? Because I generally feel MI without Bumrah, there'll always be questions. But even today, Rohit Sharma is an impact sub. Is it just going to now be that trend where Rohit plays an impact sub? He doesn't feel for MI.
I mean, he cannot. Just being very practical, they have the 11 best fielders on the field, so that's how I mean.
Dude, Travis said,
11,
Travis said is impact player for SRH. There is nothing to read.
Yeah.
There's
And
nothing
again,
to read
it's
between
not
that.
a question of respect. Yeah, if someone wants to read too much into it, mat karo, bhai. Chill maru. They're all just looking at the best interests of the side over there at least. And coming to this game, I'll still hold on to my thoughts. I more or less agree with Nikhil bhai. It is Mumbai's game to lose from here, given the kind of start they've had. But make no mistake, the last time these two sides faced at this very ground last year, KKR were down and out at 65 for 5. Manish Pandey came in as an impact player and somehow managed to take KKR to a score in excess of 160 and they defended that. So, which is why I'll still take it thoda hai chance agar Varun Chakravarti, if he does well. I think this is the kind of venue he could end up doing well tonight. Dekhna thoda, especially if there's not a lot of due on offer. So I'm interested in seeing how he goes about his business.
Okay, because like you said, it could be deja vu and they were in a similar precarious position. I was remembering fan camps there. There is fan cams, remember, speaking of which will drop tomorrow morning. MI versus KKR, some great reactions already on a night like this. More comments to come and take through, which I'll get in a bit. I admire MS Dhoni defense, Pandey career resurrection. We will be there. Rohit is kept aside of the field to one of the fan loves to realize all the decision being taken by Hardik Pandey on the field. It's Venky, Iyer, not Pandey last time, if I remember. And CSK batting lineup start with Ritu. Thank you so many comments come through already. Like this video, guys. We'll entertain all your comments. Even the new people in the chat, always welcome to make your opinions count. Andy saying this MI batting lineup is leagues better than last year. Jack Strickleton in place of Kishan Vadera. Johnson is much worse than the 2024 group start. Right, let's get into that then, because what has been MI's problem so far? Because, Nix, you were messaging me and telling us in the group, rather, with regards to how probably two of their best batters, Hardik and Sky, have been found out in hard length. So, again, is it the batting or is it the bowling? Is it problems probably which are more intrinsic to the eye?
Yeah, I don't think it as straightforward. Right, those two are highlighted because those two are the ones you trust them to kind of find a way, whether it is against GT. But we keep forgetting that not every time there is only one side who's playing. There is other side as well, and they can beat you at a better tactic. So that's what happened against GT. I don't think at this point of time the teams with more titles have their best 12 figured out, and it is completely fine. I don't think people expect, or I expect teams after the mega auction to immediately get their best 12. So in the two games, you've seen contrasting selections. You had no clue why Vignesh Puthur was dropped. Maybe you tell that, okay, that surface, was not going to turn. Remember, Rashid Khan did not bowl out. So it's not as straightforward as it may seem. And they used paces reading surfaces. And this is the thing that's going to stay right through the IPL. I don't think teams are reading surfaces well. And it's happened with MI twice. I wouldn't say twice, at least once clearly. But it can happen. And without Bumrah, it is exaggerated even more. They did very well to come close against Chennai, but even against Gujarat, you felt they were there, but really fell away towards the back end. So I think they are known to start slow, but they need to get their right well. Today, it feels, again, another two changes. Now, these are not the things that you usually associate with teams like Mumbai, Chennai, that making changes so early, but they are because they're trying to find their best 12 so far. So that's where I think they are at.
Yeah, that was pretty much my next question to Akshay, really, what Nick's finished off with. The fact that normally these teams who won so many trophies in the past have always been stable, and they've chosen to stick rather than twist even in pressure scenarios. And I was really surprised that Puthur didn't come back into the mix, given that Vankadesh sometimes does offer spin. I will just take this comment before I come to Akshay's thoughts. Is MI's problem Rohit and Sky's ego issues in not wanting to play under Hardik? Their reactions while sitting on the bench in the last game was appalling, making it out as if nothing is right. I mean, we can try to read between the lines as fans, but obviously there's so much more which goes on with what meets the eye. There's dressing room sanctity, there are bigger calls. So it really depends on a whole host of things. Cricket Info saying last match KKR won convincingly, did they? Why did they make two changes by dropping Moeen Ali and bringing in Narayan and Spencer? I mean, there was like for like. So Narayan basically sat out because Moeen Ali was there and did pretty well, even though he didn't contribute with the bat.
Narayan was not well. Yeah. So yeah. Moeen Ali played. That's the only.
Yeah, fair.
There's no universe where Moeen Ali gets to replace Sunil Narayan. There's nothing, no surface, no squad construction would allow that. Just to be clear.
One second, we have an Akshay fan here because he thinks I should say Akshay was right in the analysis about Dhoni. Well, Nikhil got wrong. No offense. There's no point in Dhoni staying in the team for just 2 or 10 balls. Even Fleming said the same today. But look, I beg to differ. We'll come to that. Because I think aside slightly with Knicks, even though I'm a huge RCB fan and it's bizarre that I'm signing with Tala and Knicks, but I have a point over there. I will just finish off on the MI chat, Akshay. So far, what is the silver lining, even though they've lost 2 games? Is there any kind of positivity that you could sprinkle to listeners of the MI fan group right now and tell them, look, early days in the tournament, you guys have been slow starters before, but what are the 2-3 things you've liked? Or has there been 2-3 things in the first place?
I'm trying to think what have I liked so far. I like what I saw Vignesh Puthur in the first game. So that was definitely something I was very thrilled with, and I hope he continues to do some good things. The fact that they've replaced, they've tried to fill that Jasprit Bumrah void, with inexperienced youngsters. That is something I really like. That's what I would have wanted to do. And again, because of how much I love watching youngsters coming in and getting a shot at the spotlight being on them. I just love that. Beat Satyanarayana Raju or even in this case Ashwini Kumar. So okay, that seems to be in the air and okay, that's been taken. There you go, Ashwini Kumar right on cue, getting Rinku Singh. This is what this tournament is all about, right? Like highest wicket taker at the Sherry Punjab just a few months ago, and wahan se abhi yahan tak. It's great to see that. But,
1 second.
Yeah, man,
Sorry, let me just come in here because you were talking about Mumbai's batting, and we'll get to that. But I just want to or have to talk about KKR's brain dead batting right now. We saw Venkatesh Iyer get away with one because he got dropped. And then now, Rinku has all the time in the world to take it to 160. Like Akshay was saying, make a fist out of it. I just don't understand it. And it comes as obviously a double sword. Nikhil put it out there, but Nick's come in here. How is this? How can you not blame this kind of batting, bro? 10.3 over 74 for 5 and that kind of shot.
That is what we want, right? It is why I keep saying कि थोड़ा hold करो. I think too many people are getting too reactive over intent and what is the kind of T20 batting. This is also T20 batting. When they don't do it, we want them to do it. When they do it and it doesn't come out, we want them to not do it. I do not think it is as easy as it may sound that play aggressively, push the batting depth, push for 200, 220, but always get it right. It is not going to happen. And that's where completely agree with you that you need to identify occasions that when is it fine to do it? Is this the right time? Case in point, the Nitish Reddy dismissal. You would feel against Stark, what is the point to do that shot? But now you do not know what is he thinking at this point of time. Maybe he just wanted to chip it over cover, but the ball came in a different way and he was beaten. So they will have to find it on the way. Even SRH is in the same boat like what KKR is today. And we have to just start accepting batting first. It is going to look even more and more tricky because teams do not have any idea of the pass score. They just don't know. They feel that, if we end up stick with 160, we will anyways lose. So then we only say you'd rather get bowled out for 120 or 140 than be settling for 140. So I don't think it's easy. I get your complete point that some of the shots look very brain-dead, but it comes from the point that people are not gauging pitches. They do not know what is the pass. That is my POV.
But my point is, like, okay, fine, gauging the pass score is one thing, but generally the cricket rule is, and I'm sorry if I'm sounding too old school, get to a decent sort of figure and total in the game so you at least have yourself in the game. Get to your 130, 140, at least be short instead of being bundled out for 110. That's my point. Surely
that's where CSK is getting stuck. That's where CSK is getting stuck by having a lineup that is good enough for such kind of totals. But yeah, it's easier said than done is what I feel.
I feel gone are those days, yeah. Like, and I agree with Nikhil bhai. You have to accept this approach with both its faults and advantages. Like you can't have, like, what's that proverb? You can't cut your cake and eat it too. Right now.
No, but it's not about cutting your cake and eating it too. It's about, okay, fine, be aggressive, make your top 5 just go gung ho. But then the 6 and 7 should read situation better, way better. It can't just come down to just, okay, fine, blind hitting. You're telling me other 6 and 7s will do that in this league? They wouldn't.
So
I'm pretty sure Ashutosh Sharma's innings, he had to kind of be circumspect at first before he could go gung ho in the end, right? Even though he was chasing and knew what they had.
No.
I understand that was a chase.
No, more
but
than it being a
batting
chase,
first,
spin is his negative matchup, which is why he wanted to bide his time because he knew jab pace aayega, wo marega. And another thing where I agree with you is with someone like Rinku Singh, who's got such a good red ball record, who knows how to spend time in the middle, I would have expected better. I agree with you. This is where a team like SRH, again, I'll have to go back to the season preview, which if you guys haven't seen,
this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Sometimes balls can get you like this.
Wasn't even an aggressive shot.
I'm not blaming Pandey. I'm saying it's a good ball. But I'm saying shots like Rinku in the shots earlier, I don't blame the top 3 batters as well. If they want to go with that philosophy, fine. But Rinku, when you're literally 74 for 5 and the team's against the wall, you don't play a shot like that. All I'm trying to say is
I'll hold it against Rinku. I agree. I'll hold it against Rinku, but that's where the side like SRH.
Correct. Because, bro, like you just mentioned it right now, Rinku, if he batted it till even the 15th or the 17th over, you're telling me he can't play catch up and really like take it out there. and hit 40,
Even if
50
he
runs in the
couldn't,
last
they've
3.
got Russell and Ramandeep in the dugout who can't take care of it from there. So I agree with you there. But that's where a side like SRH, they don't have that option. And this is something I'd even brought up during the season preview, something I brought up yesterday as well. Who is going to be that guy who will arrest the collapse? Who is going to be that guy who will hold one end up so that the others will have a bit? वो है ही नहीं. Pat Cummins is the best option there. When yes,
to that point only, do even teams want to go that route? That is the question that I'll continue
But
to
they
ask.
should have an insurance policy now.
They're not looking at
it
the
is
worst
not
case scenario.
possible
They
to
want
have it
maximize.
everything.
Yeah.
It is not possible to have every piece possible to do this also. You have to realize teams are taking a call far earlier that this is how we want to play. See, it's what we kept saying with England and baseball as well. Okay, this is how we want to play. And see, if you have any iota of doubt, you are not going to be able to execute it because those are very high risk shots. Those are not going to come off if you play with any sense of doubt. Okay, oh, what if it doesn't come off? You cannot think like that. So again, I completely agree on both of your point. Okay, Rinku accountable, ready, accountable. Maybe next game they'll not, but they will try again.
The focus is on maximizing boundary hitting. So you'll have to.
All I'm trying to say is like now even Ramandeep, okay, he's a power hitter, fair. Russell's a power hitter as well, but he's gone. He's gone as well. You're having a laugh, KKR.
That was bad, right?
I don't know. He's reviewed it straight away.
No, that was bad. That was bad. That was such a bad decision. That seemed straight off.
My point being now, for example, RCB get into a muddle. They're 5 down. They have who? Krunal and David there. Both power hitters of the ball. One so not a power hitter in terms of Krunal, but I'm pretty sure they'd use their brains there. And I'm pretty sure other teams also have those 6 and 7s who can play both roles. Now, Abhinav Manohar, I know he's working in his range game and power hitting and all of that. But surely if he has to bide his time for 7-8 overs there and kind of get to 150, 160 and keep SRH in the game, you better do that. You can't surely just be like, this is one way we play and then we're going to go all in. I know Morgan's England did that, but even that was kind of stupid at times, right? But they always had Plunkett or someone to bail them out and get it to 120, 130 in the end. It wouldn't be that bad. But all I'm trying to say is that just the fact that get to your 140, 150 at least, make some game out of it. You never know what could happen. So anyway, I'm just going on this rant. Rahul Singh saying, love the way... go on.
No, with what you said, we also need to understand that team philosophy bhi ek cheez hoti hai. With SRH, they have genuinely taken to the philosophy of, boundary hitting and all of that. That's not the case with some other sides. With a side like CSK or maybe even to some extent RCB, I want to believe Andy Flower is not someone, like he's not building a philosophy ki bhai har ball marna hai. Even that chase, power play we maximize. Even in the last game, power play we maximize. Uske baad you saw even first game, Kohli held one end up. Like there is...
But that's what I'm saying. SRH, right? You go with your boundary hitting plan, no problem. But there will be the odd scenario where you find yourselves 5 for 46 and 8.3 overs batting first. So then don't be senseless, right? Say you're telling me if you and me are batting for SRH in 6 and 7 and Klaasen's back, NKR's back, the top 3 are gone, we're still going to hit every ball in the 8.3 overs when we know there's only Cummins and Simarjeet who can hold a bat. Come on. You're telling me 7-8 overs, we won't not play out like 30, 40 runs, but we'll be sensible about it. Get 7s and 8s and over, and then
it's not down to the individuals out there, bhai. You need to understand, Avanish, it's not like you're being allowed to take a call ki bhai middle mein tum nahi, Vettori tere ko
Why
batayega.
not? Why
because
not?
That's how modern day T20 cricket works. It's
Bro,
not.
that's
अगर
bizarre.
सब को अपना करने देंगे तो फिर मुश्किल हो जाएगा ना. I get your point. I'm not saying you're wrong or I'm right. It's all subjective. But you need to understand in this day and age, I think especially in the last couple of years, the coach has started to play a much bigger role than ever before, tactically and otherwise. तुम्हें लगता है गंभीर चंद्रकांत पंडित छोड़ रहा है कि भाई तो अपना नहीं चांस ही नहीं, वो बता के छोड़ रहा है कि यार तुम्हें ये करना है, ये है, ये गोल है, वो सब बता के जाते हैं भाई.
Yeah, so but they'll also be... But you're telling me they don't have any contingency plans. They're never going to account for 4 for 40 one day. They're never going to account for 3 for 5 one day. They're never going to have any sort of insurance policies at all. It's just one way
that's where
or the highway.
also is a thing, right? If muscle memory has been built in such a way that you've wired yourself to hit boundaries every ball, अचानक से तुम बोलोगे it's not even easy. Again, a lot of our discussions are in hindsight. ये instinctive game है भाई, वो एक second में उन्हें लगा अरे ये attack कर सकता हूँ मैं, मार दिया. अभी we will talk about it for hours together, but they have just a fraction of a second to make that decision and move on. So that's where I think, like, I agree with you, but with someone like Rinku Singh, maybe he's wired to hit something that's short and wide, which is what it essentially was. Like the shot was on, maybe connect नहीं हुआ, वो होता है यार अभी, मतलब.
But that's what sets the other players apart, especially in their form, to curb their instincts in scenarios which they normally thrive. I'm pretty sure your Dhoni in your peak or your Kohli in your peak, when they're chasing games down or they're batting first, they actually know how to calculate the game and understand the time in the game. And that's gone out of the game. You can play all the kamikaze cricket in the world, but if you just don't know the basics of how to get your team over the line, bro, runs is ultimate. You can be 46 for 5 and then find yourself 55 for 9, you're going to lose. But if you're 46 for 5 and bat 20 overs, you'll at least get to 112, 120, whatever it is, and you're putting yourself in the game. So I'm just livid with some of the batters there, but I get both your points. Modern day G20 need not be Lappebazi Akshay saying Ashutosh Bajpai. And just finally feel Santner could get his due of the IPL season. Yeah, let's see how he does, because he's so been protected by CSK for all these years. You have to respect the pitch and conditions. The surface demands and respect, you'll have to give it to. That's why I fear 2026 won't be easy. And that's what I mean. Conditions as well have to be different in the IPL. We'll come to that in just a bit. Day by day, players' patience is reducing. In coming 10 years, these won't even last 10 overs in an inning. And that's what scares me as well. Another thing is, we've seen it over the last 10 years in Test cricket, how people are just so erratic. They can't even fucking bat 5 days.
One thing on this as well, for all you know, they probably, read the surface wrong. They might have read the surface, or they might have thought the surface is batter friendly. They don't know. Wickets jo gaye, was it because the ball was stopping, the ball was doing a lot, or was it just batters giving away their wickets? Which is why they must not have instructed the batters going in ki bhai, because surface bahut mushkil hai, to aaram se khelo. Shayad nahi bola hoga. Maybe Rahane might have told him, yaar, surface अच्छा ही है, वो हमने हक दिया, our shots weren't right, but ये, मतलब, there's definitely chat happening. I mean, some conversations happening there. Even now, the shot that Russell hit, the shot was on. Now you can't tell him कि shot मत खेलो क्योंकि 7 wicket जा चुका है. That's.
But right now, the ball that Ashwini just bowled him, he's left it. You're telling me this is what I'm saying. He's at least trying to curve his natural instinct. That would have gone out of the park. Right now, that ball, he's just ducked under it because he knows it's 12.1
Russell
overs.
is a good decision maker. You're
I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is, because Shreyas, of course, exposed him. But at least it's good to see that he's resisting his temptations.
I don't think it is that. I don't think it is that.
What do you think it is?
And also
classic confirmation by इसके आपने दिमाग में बना लिया कि ये है, तो आप देखो ये अगला ही शॉट देखो भाई.
अगला
वो जिस तरीके से गया exactly. It's not, but हाँ निखिल बात कर रहे हैं.
And मैं बोला था, we have come a full circle in life where we were saying India is playing outdated T20 cricket by targeting 180-200, and now we want people saying that we will not win 2016 without Virat Kohli. You cannot have everything by, and it is not. It is very easy to say after you have seen something के ऐसा ही चलेगा. It is why we keep saying थोड़ा और patience रखो. Players का patience जा रहा है. Look at the ball now. Tell me that shot is on from Russell. That is cricket, भाई. If you think cricket is black and white, नहीं है भाई. तुम गलत स्पोर्ट देख रहे हो फिर. It is not black and white. It is how it will always be. But I'm very happy for Ashwini Kumar. Look at that shot.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Avanish, but you should see. यार एक clip जाना चाहिए. I told you would be in for a rude surprise. You're definitely in for a very rude surprise if you saw what Russell just did there. क्या ही बोलना अभी. It is. I mean, again, you've got to just accept it, yaar. Abhi, there's no way, or there's no other way of looking at it. क्या ही खेलना चाहता था मेरे को पता नहीं. Go down Ashwini, 4 विकेट ले लिया भाई. 1 विकेट ले ले, मेरा भी बिंगो कार्ड से 1 टिक हो जाएगा. अनकैप्ड 5. चलो.
Possible.
Avnish, you can hear us or not? We can hear you. You're on mute. We can't hear you right now. You're on mute. We earlier did hear you when you asked. But Samit also meanwhile saying, wait, let's take the comment. I'm all in for scoring big, but you cannot bat like this. This is anything but cricket. Again, Nikhil bhai, given how it works, there's no point arguing about it, right? Like, abhi KKR as a team, unhone dekha last year what worked for them. So they want to try and replicate that.
See, I'll keep saying
Guys,
the same
can you
thing.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, now we can.
I cannot hear y'all.
Okay, Nikhil, आप
Yeah.
continue करो तब तक. हाँ.
Sure. So I think the point is you ideally want to be in a stage where you are balancing out by saying के let's go the old school way के एक end पे एक बंदा ये कर रहा है दूसरा बंदा दूसरा कर रहा है. But in this very season we've seen it is not worked for teams because I don't think. See, I understand where everybody is coming from. I have been of that advocate for a while in Test cricket also when England kept screaming ke maro maro maro. I understand that point of view. But the point is in a T20 game, it is not going to be possible to have two thoughts. It is not possible to have two thoughts and be like, no, I don't want to go down that route. Imagine we at the start of the season we were talking 300. Do you realize how normal that conversation was? Ke 300 banega. I mean, 120 balls में 300. You need to realize how high we were and now where we are because, and this is where I also feel impact player comes into play. People were not quite utilizing that aspect, but they are doing it now. They have more options. They have more options to cut down people taking that risk. So it will be something that will happen time and again. But dude, RCB had 23rd April go 263 also. And they also have 49. So you will have such days. It's all you have to accept is, do you want consistently 180s or do you want to try for 200 and end up with 170 or some days 100? That you have to take it with a pinch of salt.
No, I get that. All I'm trying to say is that sometimes when teams find themselves against the wall, especially batting first, when you're 4 for 24, 5 for 60, or even 7 for 70 or whatever,
yeah.
I'd rather get 125 all out batting 20 overs than just
Fair.
still thinking, oh, my ego pe chalunga, oh, this is what the coach told me. Bro, you're a cricketer at the end of the day. And batters, that's why they get the big bucks, the top 3, top 4. So your Rinkus, your punts, if they can't adapt in a game, forget about it. Absolutely forget about it. There are lots of people agreeing with me in the comments, by the way. Sachin Agarwal, they're saying if you want to just swing, play golf, not cricket, KKR, SRH, all will score 110, get out in 160, 180. And that's what I'm trying to say. Good that SRH actually scored in 280, 260, and I'm all for it. But if you're batting first and by chance, Kishan gets out, Head gets out, Abhishek gets out, Klassen gets out also, okay, fine. And you still want to play aggressive, fine. But the 6th and 7th guy needs to at least understand. That's all I'm asking. Top 5 goal reserve. Top 5
goal reserve. पास वो game भी तो होना चाहिए.
That is the point.
No, you're telling me he's not experienced, right?
Bro,
you know how many runs he scored in?
They're Ranji pros, they're Red Ball pros. You're telling me they can't.
No, they're not Ranji pros. Abhi debut kiya bhai. Is saal debut kiya Abhinav Manohar ne. I don't think Aniket Verma has even made his Ranji trophy debut.
Regardless, as a cricketer, you're telling me you can't bat 5 overs, then get the fuck out of there.
Bhai, they've been bought for a certain reason. Abhinav Manohar has been bought to hit sixes.
Okay, Akshay, so tell me, if you're Abhinav Manohar, okay, your full game is based on range hitting and you're going to make an impact. But if you're batting first, you're saying you'll leave the brain in the dugout and then come out and just be like swinging.
अरे मेरा कोच मेरे को encourage करके भेज रहा है कि हाँ जाके मार बेटा और मैं फिर भी I'll sort of
yes because tell him coach sorry you're wrong because it's 46 for 5.
You're being dropped the very next game. You're being dropped the very next game even if you score a century.
That is
it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Let's
so you're telling me SRH find themselves in a qualifier 1 and they're batting first. You're 46 for 5. You've killed.
अरे कल ही देखा ना qualifier 1 छोड़ो कल ही देखा ना क्या हुआ अभिनव मनोहर ने क्या किया
qualifier 1 I'm saying because there's a lot of riding on that match right you're still going to play brainless cricket
you call it brainless cricket but Aniket Verma got it right now with the same approach he scored 74 or 41 and everyone were applauding
because someone else dropped anchor around him so I'm
but no wait he was dropped on 6
he was dropped on 6 fair.
There was no
if
who
he gets dropped and nobody was anchoring at the other. I remember Avanish, your point is right, but people have taken it to a stage where they do not want to have that option and they want to maximize it. And I will still say it is not about having 200 in the mind. It's about reading the pitch wrong. If you read the pitch wrong, it is not going to work out. क्योंकि आज तो सभी बोल रहा है लखनऊ का बैटिंग देख के कितना कॉन्फिडेंस आ रहा था पहले अभी कैसा खेल रहा है मिच मार्श निकोलस पुरन तो it is eventually and I completely buy Avanish point के You have your 6, 7, whichever is the number. Somebody has to bat as per the deck. But are people selecting people as per that? That is something that you have to figure, because you have to remember Ashwini Kumar, Vansh Bedi, these Prince Yadav, these guys are not being picked on the basis of your Ranji Trophy numbers. These guys are being picked for a specific job, for a specific skill. If they do it, great. If they don't, then you work with them. So we'll have to take that also. Because hoga with time. And I agree with Cricket Info. Okay, people are not reading pitch. I forget people, India, BGT, you forget. So many teams, bro. It's not just IPL. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it is something which is really silly. Like, even right now, just don't understand how Harshit Rana can play that blind slog. I mean, he's a tail ender and all of that stuff, and I don't expect much from the bowlers. But I'm slightly old school. I just want batters to go hard, go heavy, do all the gym exercise ever which can hit massive sixes after each other. But if your team's in a pickle, get it out. Get them out of fucking fire first, man. Anyway, we've just meandered from this chat. MI KKR predictions. So MI, I think, winning this, it's safe to say, it'll be crazy if KKR pull something out. And I also wanted to know why KKR are not wearing their black jerseys. Is it just a one-game thing? I thought it was for away matches, right?
There is no black jersey. It's never come out.
No, it came out. They sold
this
it as
season
well.
they're unveiling the black and gold.
It's just merchandise. I don't think they are going to play. I mean, if somebody knows, please update. It is sold as a merchandise, but I don't know if they'll play. If किसी को पता है तो please let me.
Yeah, fair.
I want to buy.
Ashutosh Bajpai going back to Nikhil's part saying, yeah, when LSG is 20 for 4, I don't want Miller and Badoni to throw their wicket away. Exactly. So you're telling me Justin Langer tell Badoni, be like, yeah, bacha, go and still hit sixes right now. It's okay. Even if you defend, I don't care.
Achha, last bit on this.
Jail
last bit on this. The point is completely valid if you're batting first. I would still say there is a while to think the other way around. But what did Vipraj Nigam do with Ashutosh? Ashutosh was not struggling. He was playing the situation. Vipraj Nigam found a way to hit six because he was thinking sixes. So you have to take that also. When we celebrate Vipraj Nigam, you'll have to understand that he took that risk. He could have gotten out also. And then we would be like, kya kar raha hai bhai? But
Vipraj Nigam took that risk because he knew Ashutosh was there dropping anchor. Surely they had a discussion in the middle.
I don't think it is as planned, bro.
It's not that planned. They had the crease together.
He wasn't playing anchor, to be clear. Matchup ka game hai bhai. Ashutosh face marta hai. Vipraj Nigam clearly was a lot more
sometimes matchups go out of the window when your team's 6 for 70 or whatever, bro. Think about it.
You were chasing. You were chasing. Nothing. Now you have no option but to try.
That is the difference. Yeah.
But it's insane.
By the way,
not getting back by Gambhir at number 5 and India team has let his confidence down. First the T20 World Cup snub, then not giving his entry point in T20s. Yeah, what do we make about Rinku, guys? Because we all kind of were hoping that he entered last year's World Cup squad. Wasn't to be. Now, I don't know how the ship is sailed on this particular topic. Nikhil, you answer this because Rahul asks you and then Akshay can chip in.
Rahul bhai, I don't think we have seen enough of Rinku already. We need to see more of it. I don't think we've seen enough any which ways to get the right figure for him. Venky, I'm still stuck at that Afghanistan game. Okay, bhai, why are we not seeing more of him? But where do you send him when your top order is scoring runs like that? Tum kidhar bhejoge Rinku ko?
That is true. What do you have to say about Rinku, Akshay? The fact that we've had patience with him in the sense, but also kind of losing our patience with him.
Bol.
Thank God, my browser was stuck there. Yeah. In terms of patience, yeah, if you're referring to Team India there, patience to nahi. Abhi to filhal, I don't see him making it into the 11 right now. There are too many other options that have come up. He will need a bit more time, and I'm not sure what is it. Is it a case of mismanagement? Is it a case of lack of confidence from Womiko? Till now, we don't know what exactly is the issue that's plaguing him. So we'll have to still wait on it right now. And I hope he has at least a couple of knocks. Maybe push him up top. Maybe ask him to probably play that role of a dynamic anchor. Up time deke bat karo, just hold and end up so that the others can continue going and doing the thing. And eventually you can also start doing that because he's arguably the one batter there that I'm confident of to play the role of a dynamic anchor. It won't be Rahane, it is him, and maybe to some extent an Ankush Raghuvanshi. बाकी तो मतलब किसी में भी वो gears नहीं है, ना ही वो game है. So I just hope he can come good, but बाकी फिलहाल तो I don't see him making it to the Indian team anytime soon.
Okay, fair enough. Sanjay Papagari saying, tell me who's winning with 120 by playing sensibly. At least you're giving yourself a chance, mate. I mean, if you want to just get blown away by 75 playing brainless cricket, be my guest. No worries about that. 13 loss of KKR is loading in Wankhede in 18 games. This is a one-sided rivalry if there ever was. And we took this one from Ral Singh. Sachin Upadhyay saying 100% with Avanish. People used to switch off TVs when Sachin got out. With the individual obsessed fans these days, imagine these kind of things happening. T20 will die soon, at least in India, I feel. Bold shout there. But before we start, Stubbs had given a platform already. They were cruising a little bit. We'll come to all the nitty-gritties in the 12th man if you've missed out some of your questions, so don't worry about it. And Aseem Hunt saying it's a toss between playing a natural game, which has been successful all throughout, or adapt as per the situation, which is the correct way to play. United went toe-to-toe with Liverpool, lost 5-0. Sometimes you got to take it in terms of the opposition. Don't be brainless in terms of, okay, fine, football and cricket is very different. But in that point that you mentioned there, we at least tried to kind of show that we can be brave on the ball and hold possession and all that stuff, and we got founded. We should have really kind of held back and then hit them in the counter attack like how we have multiple times in the past. Can't super chat? No, we've not gotten to that because, Andy, we want everyone's comments to be made felt. Let Rinku play all 14 games, then we'll decide. Yeah, let's judge him on the season entirely. Sanjay saying if Tilak does well at 5, I generally won't be surprised if India move on from Rinku for the time being. He's a direct competitor in the IPL. And saying RCB has been the best team in the last half decade and this time have been better bowling. Middle order, very likely they finish top 2. Don't jinx that. I hope so as well. Why is they cannot come in the watch along? If he was in Bangalore, we would have got him into the watch along, but he's a Mumbai boy. And of course, lots of things going on in this IPL plan of ours. Last season, Shreyas used to stop this collapse. All he got was seeing Gambhir getting credited, and now we see KKR as a batting unit. And finally, I was going to say Bus in the Rhine. Worst management of Rinku Singh by the Indian cricket team and Gautam Gambhir. Gambhir played him low down the order for KKR, and the Indian cricket team dropped him undeservedly for the World Cup. Right, enough of the MI KKR chat. Let's reflect on what's happened this weekend with regards to both the southern teams losing on Super Sunday. First SRH in DC, or rather in Vizag, which is DC's home ground. Akshay, I'll start with you here. We've already alluded to it in terms of some of the batting and the aggressive path. Vittori's come out saying we're going to stick with that particular team, and why not? But what's going to really kind of cost them this season? You've always been speaking about SRH getting found out. So you were pretty happy given the fact Delhi won and your point was proven. Why do you keep thinking that SRH might not be in the top 4 this year?
Yeah, but I would still not say that they've been found out or anything. Those are 2 losses, but they can, again, too early to say anything like that. So let's wait on it. But yeah, with SRH and why I think so, it's because of the batting. I'll once again say the batting is extremely explosive. The talents on display are very exciting, no doubt. But yeah, it is very one-dimensional in some sense. एकदम हर किसी को पहले बॉल से ही मारने का चुल है. And I don't know if that's going to work across conditions. It'll work in Hyderabad. And yesterday, to be honest, if there was one venue outside Hyderabad, they should have gone for where it is Vizag. Smaller ground, flat surface. We saw what happened when DC played LSG there the last time. So clearly runs were on offer. But unfortunately, it did not work out for them. And that's precisely why. And I don't even think they lost wickets to good deliveries. Mitchell Starc got a fifer. That's arguably one of the most random fifers I've seen. The way head got out, the way even Nitish Reddy got out. Poor shot selection, and you just don't know what exactly. Like in that, with the urge to hit every ball out there, you just can't do anything about it. So it was always going to happen, and I think across 14 games, it isn't an approach that will win you tournaments. Speaking as a fan of a team that's tried this for a while, I don't know that, and I'm not even talking about batters win your games, bowlers win your tournaments. Wo wala bhi cheez nahi. It's just that you need to have some more. Like there needs to be a bit more to just being attacking. You can't just be attacking and expect it to come good. Like I don't know, on a surface like Chepauk, if it turns out to be slightly tricky, the second innings that Chennai played, if the surface is going to be like that and SRH go through with their shots, I don't think it'll work out for them. Bangalore, if they decide to keep it just a bit more spicy than usual, oh my word, what's happening? That Trent Bolt getting angry. Sorry, apologies for that. But yeah, so I don't know if that'll work out for them. So that's precisely why. And also with their bowlers, I still don't think they have the bowling unit there who can, consistently do well for them. It can't be just the bowling. It has to be a bit of both. That's why I think the bowling can also, cop a few blows. Like yesterday again, 16 ओवर में 160, 170 दे भी दिया, जहां पे 3-4 ओवर जीशान अंसारी का था, जिसका हमने जिक्र किया भी नहीं था. So the experienced ones, Rahul Chahar, Adam Zampa has been replaced by someone like Zishan Ansari. Simarjeet Singh has now been looked past, which was very sad. Like, bhai, he looked very good. मतलब मेरे को बहुत मजा आया उनको देख के. I really think he's someone who deserves a lot more chances. But yeah, I mean, with Shami, Harshal, Cummins, it's all right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can say too much about them.
Look, I mean, some of the shots yesterday were questionable, but that's how they play. I understand that. But my point is, even in the LSG game, maybe the luck factor really didn't suit them that night. If you look at Klaasen's freak dismissal, Kishan getting down, got caught down the leg side as well. So those things might happen. But SRH, do they have a plan B? Or this plan B will just be plan A, but just keep doing it better? So, Knicks, if they find themselves in another position like this, batting first in the next game or the next game after that, do you expect the same sort of feeble effort, or do you think, again, they'll have their wits about it?
No, I don't think they are going to change, and I would not want them to change. It's not some. I don't think it is just. It's just a switch that you can do, and you are at the other end. What I will and definitely expect of them is giving yourself a better chance. Giving yourself a better chance to execute what they want to. And firstly, stop running idiotic singles. Call, accept or reject. Don't do this. I cannot for once fathom in any world how is Abhishek Sharma getting run out worth that risk. It's not worth it. Whatever you want to do, just talk it out. Just run out. Just make me very angry. Because if the guy can face 6 balls, he can hit 6, 4, 6, 6, yes, whatever possible, but it's not worth the run out. That sort of Nitish Reddy, again, something that comes to your mind. You look at some of those dismissals in that game, Pat Cummins, Abhinav Manohar. You'll have to give yourself better chance for it to come good. But that is a risk that you will running. Aniket Verma looks good when he hit 74, but he could have been out trying to hit that shot on 6 also. So, you take the example of Rajat Patidar as well. He gave CSK enough chances. CSK did not take it. Rajat Patidar walks off like a hero. And he should, because he won them the game. But CSK take that chance, the game goes completely differently. So I think it's about identifying the moment, that time where you want to take that risk, and is it in your favor? So because that is something that is very natural to them, that they've been told to bat that way. So I'll expect them to continue that way, because personally I don't mind Zampa not starting, because I maybe overrate Zishan Ansari, because I feel Mulder could help them with a new ball. Again, I'll go back to that rant that I had in the preview. Okay, Mulder with a new ball is very handy. They did not use him well, but he's someone that they should also look. So I'll expect the same from them. Better execution, 100% yes.
Yeah, Mulder was the impact player for them because they lost too many wickets. And Aniket Verma, if it wasn't for his knock, they would have had their really blushes to save. Heard Ranaji, a bowling all-rounder, man, at least play sensibly to Ramandeep is another end. Absolutely. Crick-Info saying, why is still the field spread out after 9 wickets? I mean, Ramandeep can farm the strike and he's a good batter. So hence they still got their men out there. And I'm hoping Spencer Johnson just bats this ball out so Ramandeep can at least propel them to 130, 140. If Spencer Johnson now gets out playing a slog, you're telling me it's down to Chandu Pandit saying, still play Karo, it's fine.
It's
like that.
You cannot simplify it like that. It doesn't work that way.
It is not as simple.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
I saw.
Swipe. Why can't he just put his bat there?
It is not his skill. I think kya expect
Avanish is asking me वैसे हमने personally बोला है.
You're saying
Mana कौन कर रहा है, but game has changed. When did I say you were wrong?
You're saying
you're not wrong.
We are all on the same page. We are just saying that cricket is trying to go in that direction, not us.
which I don't know. I don't agree with. Anyway, we'll move on from one southern team to the
Fair.
other, and we'll talk about CSK and what's gone wrong for them, because I generally think they've been the worst team in the power play this season. And Nick's, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the most painful as a CSK fan to take? Because even against RCB, 20 dot balls out of 36.
Yeah, of course, power play is a concern. The order basically is the concern, and I'm very proud of myself when I said the selections could be the zero, because it does feel like that's where this is headed. Because it's again reading pitches. Reading pitches is very, very, very important, and I don't think it's a straightforward solution for Chennai, but they'll have to figure a way out that okay, this is what we want to do. The man in front of you is, I don't even think is, if CSK have five problems, CSK's MS is not one of that top five. There are far more teething issues that are there that they need to address nicely, just like that. Uh, oh, we have a fan. As if we had less of fans, we have more fans on the screen now. But yeah, I think completely मेरा line of 30 तोड़ दिया, शाबाश.
Selections की बात कर रहे थे आप, and reading the pitch if you.
Yeah, so I think Chennai game.
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, jokes apart, I feel like even Overton coming in and not bowling so well, Curran going out, I never thought in my dreams I'd drop Sam Curran. And how much do you need Devon Conway, you feel, next?
पहले तो ओवरटर्न पावर पे बॉलर है नहीं, so I have no idea what brains are these के you are thinking कि भाई again brains में नहीं, it's a very 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 brave call to say that we'll have Jamie bowling with a new ball. उसका भाई better bowler है, Craig Overton is a better new ball bowler than him, so it's why I said selections, proactive captaincy, sending the right matchup, bowling Jadeja to Padikkal. I have no problem with Ashwin to Rana, because you have set the game up in a way that you have to bowl Ashwin in the power play. So I have no problem with that, but it's just execution and the margin of error that is going out for Chennai. So I completely agree with you. I don't think Sam Curran he did much wrong to be out of the side. Actually, he bowled better first 2 overs against RCB. He was the first one to get conditions right. But if you bowl Sam Curran to Tim David and expect Tim David to miss, it is your fault. It's not Sam Curran's fault that Tim David hits him for 3 sixes. So because that is what is expected. So to me, I would say both matches were cost with that drop catch. One catch cost them a lot more with Rajat Patidar. And I think yesterday, Dubey's catch, I think, was game changer, because he, to me, looked very, very good. And CSK need him to fire. It's as simple as that. If you have 4 of your top 5 not contributing, you tell me which team is going to survive. It doesn't matter what the 6, 7, 8 are doing. You're focusing. The noise is far too much about the 6, 7, 8. The game is being set up by the top 5.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. And I just want to continue the CSK chat with Akshay right now. Before that, please like this video, guys. Just because we're here every night giving you some great content, especially Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday Night Live will always continue. Some important breaking news. MI, of course, just need 117 to get their first 2 points of IPL 2025. And well done, Ashwini Kumar, because he's got 4-for on debut. And right now, I think that's the third best figures this season so far. After Stark's 5-for, Noor got 4-for 18, and then this one, 4-for 24, being the third best, like I said. Right, we'll take some comments about Chennai. Plenty trickling in right now, and it is, of course, the topic that many people want to talk about. Worst thing for CSK fans, considering how woeful MI has been with their batting. CSK have too many guys saying Andy. Then freaking also saying why, when batting is not their strength, I don't know why CSK have to field every time, even on a tricky wicket like Guwahati. Tushar Singh saying Chennai had been so poor in the last couple of games, even on the sluggish pitches, they're not playing well. Imagine what will happen to them on flat pitches. And more comments coming through. Asmith has one about Dhoni, which I'll save later for next. But just coming to you, Akshay, about Chennai. Losing to RR by 6 runs, cool. That game could have gone anywhere. That could happen. But not having intent in both those chases, RR last night and RCB, that's what kind of upsets me. And I'm not even going to go blame the middle order in terms of Jadeja and Dhoni, like how certain guys in the office were. But what do you think their main problem has been in the last 2 games? Because Fleming has clearly come out saying not everything is bad. We've just lost 2 games out of 3. We could have been in a far worse position. So where do you kind of see it going for them, and what do you think they need to do ASAP to rectify this mess?
Yeah, firstly, I want to believe Fleming wala press conference. Matlab, he's just sort of pandering to the audience. Let's not read too much. I'm pretty sure ऐसा अंदर वो जाके अपने players को नहीं बोल रहा कि भाई सब चिल है, कोई सब चंगा सी टेंशन नहीं है, कुछ मत अपने आप नहीं हो रहा है. So I hope that is the case at least. Secondly, like you mentioned, intent has sort of been on the down low for them. They haven't really played as aggressively as they could have. No one's asking them to score 80-90 runs on the power play and hit a 6 every ball, but कम से कम जो है थोड़ा तो कुछ कोशिश दिखना चाहिए. Because even yesterday and the game against RCB, ऐसा लग रहा था कि उन्होंने हथियार ही छोड़ दिए थे. मतलब they weren't even trying to attack. So that is the difference. Like, at least you have to try and look to attack. If it doesn't come off, it's a different thing. For example, with Kohli, I know a lot of people rightfully so criticize कि क्या knock था 31 of 30. Where I'll cut him some slack is he was trying. It was just one of those days where nothing came off. So अगर तुम try करते अगर वो नहीं,
I'll cut him off completely. Deepak Hooda was trying, bro. You cannot say Deepak Hooda was not trying. What you have to realize is Rahul Tripathi. Honestly, if you tell me, see, you can't just say trying if you score runs. You have to connect. Rahul Tripathi was trying to scoop. He was trying to get out of the line with Jofra.
Scoop में कोई याद
नहीं होगा.
अरे जितना हिल रहा था मेरे को सिर्फ बॉल से पहले ही दिख रहा था, बॉल के बाद नहीं हिला वो.
So that is what I'm saying. They were trying, but they were so far off the ball that they could not do much. And I'll see against RCB, I would still say, again, wrong batting order. I would not push Deepak Hooda to bat against Bhuvi. It is not possible. And Jofra Archer, he bowled well. So I'll credit Jofra Archer there. So, but I completely agree. You are losing far too much you are not chasing 180 in 20 overs. You are playing first over maiden. You're giving them एक और कम करके मार के बता. So it's not going to work.
And another area of concern would be Jadeja himself. Yeah, like 50 or 4 in IPL 2025, I'm backing the batting team. कि भाई 4 ओवर में 50 तो मारने चाहिए, चेज है तो. Especially जहाँ पे पहले इनिंग्स में हमने देखा 196. I don't think the surface had really become sluggish in the second innings like it was in Chennai. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. 15 for your backing, the batting side. I mean the chasing side. And तुम अगला 2 ओवर 11 ही रन मारते हो. And if the reason given is कि भाई स्पिन था, वो नहीं भाई ऐसा नहीं चल सकता ना. 18 करोड़ आपको अगर दिया है वो किसी वजह से दिया है भाई. 18 करोड़ आपको ये तलवारबाजी ऐसे सिर्फ फोटोशूट पे करने के लिए नहीं दिया है. आपको थोड़ा तलवारबाजी ग्राउंड पे भी दिखाना पड़ेगा. And if not for that last ball 6, वो तुषार देशपांडे वाला, तो Jadeja's knock would have been far worse. This makes you
wonder. But again, I'm not blaming the middle order here, guys. It's the power play. CSK have always been a strong team in their pomp, even when their top 3 were brilliant. Yeah. You've always had your Haydens, your Hussies, your Gaikwads, your Conways in full flush. And that's why I think they should get Conway back somehow. I love Rachin Ravindra, and I know Gaikwad wants to bat one down, no problem with me. But they need to sort out that top order mess, because I don't get confidence in Vijay Shankar, Deepak Hooda, Dubey's impact player, fair, Dhoni, Jadeja, Ashwin, and Overton. You can't be doing that in 2025. And the top 3 need to do the heavy lifting. So I would expect them to go down a little bit like the Gujarat Titans path, where there's Gill, Butler, Sai Sudarshan. Those guys can bat probably 13, 14 overs and then just go berserk, send everyone out there. Dubey, Jadeja, Dhoni, just have a net session. The problem is... I'm saying when the game is where it's set up, where it's 176 for 4, 17 overs, Jadeja can take it to 210, 215, yeah? You can't expect him to kind of always win you games through, as if Akshay Patel's be winning you games.
Anyway, nothing. You can argue as much as you want, but nothing will change the fact that Akshar Patel is the superior T20 batter. You will not be able to convince me.
He's only a better IPL captain than Jadeja. Nothing else. Nothing else. Name me another all-rounder in IPL history.
Support Mr. Somesh Agarwal. तुम deserve करते हो. ऐसा सोच
15 man of the matches for Jadeja, 8 for Akshar Patel.
अरे वो 7 सीजन ज्यादा खेला है भाई, डबल मैचेस भी तो खेला है वो. What is this?
Jadeja. I don't want to have this conversation. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Let's not.
And we're
Just
saying
coming-
Dhoni came in when we had a 23% chance of winning according to WinViz. The game was always beyond them, 13.5 runs per over.
Yeah.
It was a shit power play. Absolutely
What?
agree.
You're telling me 15-4, the game was beyond them? Oh man, no.
Of course भाई थोड़ा अच्छा एक स्टैट देता हूँ मैं लास्ट ईयर 2024 में you had 11 in the first 11 games 6 instances of teams scoring 50 in the last 5 so far it's been only 4 what I don't think people are understanding is the times are gone
Sorry, I
when you
didn't
can
hear you
expect
properly. You said 11 in the
last first
season.
11 games first 11
हाँ,
games last season and this season comparatively 6 बार 50 के ऊपर टीम 5 ओवर तुम 4 ओवर में एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो my point is that the game is gone from a stage where you can leave it till that point of time. So to me, the problem is leaving it for so long. And here everybody is accountable. It's not that it absolves MS or Jadeja of that responsibility. But the point is, Sanjay Papa very alag जोश में चल रहा है. My problem with Jadeja and MS both here is, I understand maybe you cannot hit sixes to spin. Find a boundary. To me, that is my least expectation. If at all it gets to a stage where you have to do it, because everybody sometimes you will invariably end up in a stage. It's okay if you don't get a 6, but you will have to find a way where you're not rotating or taking a few risks because you had Overton and Ashwin to follow. Else, send Ashwin higher up the order, but then don't care about the optics because I feel going with time, it is starting to feel that optics are far more important, but that's a different debate. So to me, it's the top 3, and I completely agree with Avanish. I don't think any team in this IPL can tell me कि अगर top 4 नहीं चलेगा ना, top 5 तो तेरा नीचे वाला मार ले. It's not going to happen. अभी तक एक चीज हुआ है जहाँ पे you have, and that too it was still doable. It wasn't completely out of the way. And just to close this out, impact player is making a difference in chases. We'll see this now also. Okay, people are having options. Yesterday, can you imagine Jofra did not bowl the last over? In no world does it happen. But you have options. They could have pulled anybody depending on who came out to bat. So I think that is also something we'll see in this IPL as well if it continues to happen. Again, this doesn't dissolve them of any responsibility. Chennai should have still chased it down because you feel an eventually only 6-run difference, but you're not going to chase 39 in 12 or 9 out of 10 days. So you'll have to prepare better.
And plus, I mean, if you look at what Nick's just said right now, it's tougher chasing those kind of 65, 70s in the last 5 overs of the innings, especially with CSK not chasing 175 plus in the last 4-5 years. And it's remarkable that this team has got 2 titles without chasing that much. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy when you come to think of it. Meanwhile, New Lax with Rasan saying, hi guys, joined after the late office hours. Nick, how happy are you with the KL cameo? We'll talk about that 5-ball 15 as well later on in the show, but appreciate your thoughts. New Lax with Rasan. I hate it when some of the best players are sitting on the bench while average players are playing cricket info. CSK should stop being a charity and try to be reviving dead careers. It won't work anymore. Saying Ashutosh Bajpai. And lots more questions about CSK. What did you think of Gaikwad's approach with only him and Rachan being the competent batters? He's not even going to try to have the confidence to take chances. He needs to, but Andy, ultimately, I think Gaikwad also has to be playing his game because he has absolute idiots around him, if I can use that. Tripathi is a no-go. Dubey is 1 in 3 innings. He's going to give you something. Gaikwad himself has understood that Huda and Vijay Shankar is not going to kind of get you out of the situation. So it comes down to him. And then if Rachin loses his wicket early, God bless CSK. So lots more things to be talked about with regards to that. Now let's come to the Dhoni chat because Asiman said, Nikhil, you mentioned the top 5 failures causing issues for CSK. Don't you think Dhoni is not coming right after to arrest the collapse? That becomes a huge issue for CSK. Is he a tail ender? Dhoni is also chasing 2 games. The one game he's come in is whatever. Like if Dhoni probably doesn't come to bat at 6 or 7 in the first innings, then it's a problem. That's what I would say.
Firstly, I'll just say it is fine if you still expect 43-year-old koi bhi ho. People are playing roles. That was the debate that I had with Akshay last year as well. Have you seen Hetmeyer come out to bat at 6 or 7? They use Shubham Dubey over Hetmeyer. When did you see DK come out to bat in the 10th over? He came when there was no option. What people are just losing their minds as if के तू experienced है तो तू 10 ओवर के बाद आना चाहिए. अब वो नहीं आने वाला, ये मेरे को पता है. Maybe I have accepted it and I don't think there is any other way out. Should he play or not? It is completely his, Fleming and Gaikwad's and the owner's call. I have no say in that. Do I like it? Of course not. It can never come at the expense of the team. But till this point of time, let's go this way first. How does he look at Dhoni's situation as a CSK fan? Keeping him for wicket-keeping skill. Don't think he was culprit in the both matches. See, first May, though, in the RCB game, the game was gone by the time. Even if he had come at the place of Ashwin, it would not have mattered. It would have looked better, which is something I completely agree with K. Sometimes you have to cater to the audience or the people who trust in UK. Please come out to bat earlier. Now, if you cannot run, if you cannot do all of that for 8-9 overs, it's a call that you will have to take with Fleming and Ruturaj in the best interest of the team, whatever you want to do. Yesterday also, I do not think it was his problem that they lost the game. Even if he came in before, he could not have come before Jadeja, because then tum wapis Thikshana ke over daloge, you could get, Riyan Parak could have bowled, bro. What you are not realizing is if you send somebody else, teams will adapt because they have options. So at this point of time, Chennai's problem, yes, Dhoni is a part of the problem because you will say, he cannot bat above 5 overs. But that is the role of every finisher. Are you sending Russell? Did Russell come out today to bat in the 7th or the 8th over? He did not, because that is not his role in the side. You may want him, you may expect him, that's fair. It's your expectations. But I don't think any finisher is what I expect him to come out in the 11th or the 12th over mark. If they don't want him there, take a call. I have no problem with it. मैं वो sense से I'm not egoistic कि भाई धोनी चाहिए ही चाहिए. It's, you have to think of the team first. At this point of time, I don't think it is costing the team. Baki, you can feel free to feel if he is costing.
I don't think he's costing the team as well. I mean, I generally think, okay, yeah, sure, he needs to come up and take more responsibility in certain situations and chases. Yes, I didn't like the fact that he didn't kind of come through when Ashwin came through, even though the game was kind of done, 117 or 44 and all that stuff. Now, Akshay, my point to you in the watch along as well was that if this man is still the best keeper in the league, he's still bringing all the revenue through the gates, which has to be taken into consideration. We say this jokingly sometimes, but CSK as a franchise revolves around MS Dhoni. So just the fact that he's playing this IPL means a lot to them in terms of so much broadcaster, so much and all of that. From a cricketing logic, wicket keeping, he has obviously the best vantage point like every wicket keeper does. He has insane amount of knowledge about every batter and understands the game within 2 balls, 3 balls. So even if Gaikwad's your puppet captain, he's kind of telling him, saying, okay, fine, this could be done. He's not typical MS Dhoni, the captain, but he's probably just having a quick word and be like, maybe you can give it to him, maybe you can give it to him. So that is invaluable. And the wicket keeping is invaluable, as we've seen 3 stumpings already. The finishing and the batting is a bonus. So why can't we just take that with a pinch of salt? 4 crores for that is brilliant. And when I jokingly said that in the RCB game that he saved 40, 50 runs, he did. He did, though. Like at that point in time, in the moment, people won't realize this. Salt was going mad. It was that little bit that stopped RCB a little bit, even though Parikal came and then fired guns as well. I'm just thinking to myself, it shouldn't all be doom and gloom about Dhoni. Like, I think he's contributing as a wicketkeeper, and we're expecting still at the age of 43 for him to explode as a batter. It's a tough ask. It really is. And Fleming has now already said it and confirmed that he can't bat more than 10 overs. So how do you stand? Would you want to change your thoughts in cold light of day, or you still want to be really no sympathy for MS Dhoni or his fans?
No, again, I'm sorry, but I don't think I've blamed MS Dhoni for the results, firstly. I still stand by what I said. Last year, that was different. That statement was different. That was about auction retentions, pura cycle. That's different. I'll never say कि यार MS Dhoni अगर पहले आता ना तो मैच जिता. No, of course not. I completely agree with Nikhil bhai on that. It like they've got a million problems right now, but MS Dhoni not batting higher up isn't one of them. So to be clear on that, firstly. Secondly, about what you say, I still disagree because again, going back to what I said last year, There was this stat that was put out on Twitter, something I brought up yesterday as well. I'm forgetting who it was. Once again, apologies. The stat was basically from IPL 2022, runs scored by keepers for each side. The average for the other 9 teams was hovering at around 1,000, going up to 1,400. The lowest being the basically ninth team in that being Gujarat to someone who had 900 odd runs. CSK has had only 530 runs from their wicket keeper. It could have been Dhoni. There was a couple of occasions where Dhoni did not keep, it was someone else. But 530 is the run scored by CSK wicket keeper since IPL 2022. Now, firstly, do you think that is fair on the side? Secondly, like you mentioned, he's not getting any younger. Stephen Fleming himself said कि धोनी का entry point is completely dependent on how he's feeling that day. जैसे कल वो एक तो situation देखते हैं. Firstly, if he feels there are other capable batters, if he feels no, is he fit enough to come in? Then he'll based on that, and नहीं तो he'll back the other players. That's basically the gist of what Stephen Fleming said. So then again begs the question: why does he have to force himself or push himself to that limit? There are enough keeping options available. There were enough keeping options available in the auction. Or even now, I'm still going to say, at this point in time, he's not being unfair. He's being unfair to himself. Like, wo necessary hai kya? Is it at this point in time so important for him to play? That is what I was trying to say since then. I'm not saying he's not adding value. I agree with you completely. He is the best keeper, not arguably nothing. He is the best keeper in the tournament, period. But is that alone enough? I don't think so. I still don't think so. He can do all the stumpings he wants, but I still don't think that alone would suffice. And I'm not saying he needs to bat higher up. I completely get why he isn't batting higher up. अरे last time भी बोला है भाई, वो एक टांग पे खेल रहे हैं वो, तो उनको रेस्ट लेने दो ना. मैं वही तो बोल रहा हूँ. And CSK, I mean, apparently, like Dhoni also in a pre-season press conference or interview somewhere, he said कि हमारे मैनेजमेंट ने तो हमें बोल दिया अगर वो मुझे व्हीलचेयर पे भी हूं ना तो उनमें मुझे खिलाएंगे. तो फिर मैनेजमेंट की गलती है वो. यू कांट, लाइक, आई गेट इट. आई कंप्लीटली गेट द बिजनेस साइड ऑफ थिंग्स. आई एम नॉट टचिंग इट बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स कमर्शियली यू कांट डिनाई दैट. सेम विद आरसीबी एंड कोहली. आई गेट इट. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू डिनाई दैट. बट this goes on till when? Where do you draw the line? If 43, 44 is not the age for you to stop, especially when your one knee is completely given up, you've had to undergo surgeries and all of that, then where do you draw the line? तो फिर literally wheelchair पे वो खेल सकता है. विकेट कीपिंग के लिए टेंशन ही नहीं है. Rule
but if there's an exception to anyone, there's an exception to anyone in this regard, it has to be MS. Because bro, what's also invaluable is just the presence in the aura. So many people.
Oh, yeah. One more thing. Apologies. I'll have to finish that line of thought as well. Avanish, you mentioned about how he's helping Rutraj. I don't think so. If Dhoni was helping Rutraj, some of the elementary errors that have been made on the field wouldn't have been made.
Helping, but at times it's just as a wicket keeper trying to
understandably so. No, I don't think so. And understandably so, because Gaikwad needs to learn and make mistakes by himself. He cannot be spoon-fed everything. So वो understandable. I'm not even going to hold that against him. He's doing the right thing. उसको सीखना पड़ेगा. वो धोनी हमेशा नहीं रहने वाला है वहाँ पे. He's not वो master chief नहीं है वो. So it is understandable. So again, then begs the question of next क्या? Like, you have to groom someone, and क्या वो हो रहा है? These were the points. These are always the points. So yeah, that's why I'm still at.
See, I still think the season is very early, and there will be evidences to show that Dhoni still fits the bill for CSK, even though at this age. He's shown it once, twice, thrice as a keeper in terms of this year and the stumpings, and why he's still good in that regard. I know you were laughing at some of the buys that he let go in yesterday's game and stuff.
Watch along ka reaction tha. Don't even please. That would, of course not. Of course, I completely agree with you. And sorry, on that itself, something Avanish and I had also discussed during the watch along, Nikhil bhai.
And exactly this is what I mean.
Bro, he's not helping. It seems अरे भाई तुमने अबे कैमरा वही दिखाता है जो वो तुम्हें देखना चाहते हैं. So let's cricket don't go by what you see on TV. The broadcast is showing you what they want you to see. So please, like, for all you know, Rutraj might have communicated it to MS Dhoni ki bhai usko bol de piche hatne ke liye. We don't know what's happening there. So let's not simply jump the gun, because I'd still say some of the elementary errors made would not have been made if MS Dhoni was actually helping Rutraj out, which is, again, I'm not using that as something to hold against CSK. I'm just saying, putting it out there. And another thing, Nikhil bhai, now that we know he can't last longer than, say, 10 deliveries, okay? Do you think there's any merit in sending him up top? मतलब up top as an opening नहीं. 8th over, 9th over, 10th over जहाँ पे भी with pair him with Gaikwad basically 10 बॉल तुम 10 बॉल ही खेलो, फिर रिटायर्ड आउट हो जाओ, नहीं तो हिट विकेट जो भी है, क्योंकि गायकवाड एनीवे इज गुड अगेंस्ट स्पिन. तो अगर वो स्पिन भेजेंगे तो धोनी एक सिंगल मार के गायकवाड को डाल देगा वहां पे. डू यू थिंक देयर इज एनी मेरिट इन थिंकिंग ऑन दोस लाइंस?
Yeah, of course there is. I think that is how it may sound radical, but I think that is where they'll have to go down that route. And actually, that is the entire problem of Chennai at this point of time. Okay, that pairing is not working at all. Like there is a reason Thikshana bowled that over because you did not have Gaikwad. Agar Gaikwad hota, to Thikshana would not have bowled that over to Jadeja and MS. So I think there is always that room to push MS up if you want. And again, what you have to realize is it is not pushing MS up. It is trying to use people in the best way possible, and that is how they won 2 times in the last 4 years. They used people in the right role and they gave them the right backing, and it came off. So far, it hasn't come off. So it will look worse, and it should, and it is fair. And I think it is completely fine if you lose, because that is how you will learn. Okay, maybe next time, try and back us up, because you already see that changing with how CSK used to operate under MS and how it is under Gaikwad. You have a wrist spinner. When was the last time you saw CSK trusted a spinner? But they went hard for Noor because you see that changing. So the problem for Chennai has been this pairing. So I have completely no problem. I would have, मैं तो इतना भी बोल रहा हूँ कि send him in the power play if at all. The one thing that you to realize is moving ball है तो Dhoni is good enough to counter that. And again, तुमको उसका wicket बचाना नहीं है. You're not wanting to save or shield MS here. The point is to hit space. So if you feel there is a place and time for it, go ahead and do it. And they'll have to someday do it. You'll have to find a way to use and even groom the next set of players. So just as Avanish said, I don't think he's helping him set the field maybe. Okay, getting the angles right. कि भाई चलो ये angle पे तू ऐसा रहे, it will be better. And because as you said, there have been so many glaring calls which would have never happened under MS. So, and that is okay. Everybody has to learn on their job, and Gaikwad is doing that.
Exactly.
Okay. Guys, let's just, of course, pose the Monday Night Live question tonight. If you guys are enjoying this podcast, we're already kind of coming to the end of it, but we have still lots more to discuss, and there's Akshay's quiz. So please like this video really quickly and share it to all your friends who are cricket fans. Right, MNL question of the night. What would you change in CSK right now? What a ball!
What was that ball?
What a ball!
Banana swing, भाई क्या वकार यूनिस का मतलब क्या था ये?
वो वकार राना was. So MNL question in the night. What would you change in CSK right now? Let's just close the chat of Chennai with this. Andy asked us earlier, what's your confidence to get in Kamboj, Conway, Rachin in the same 11? Feel like Fleming's king for flexibility over specialists will do us in. And I just want to talk about the other options they have on the bench, Akshay Nix. People like Andre Siddharth, people who are, of course, there in terms of their batting arsenal. Sheikh Rashid's another name as well. So can they use the youngsters instead of using the oldies who are now just done? They're in the twilight of their career. What's the point? At least breathe some new fire into the wings. Akshay, you first and then Nix.
I would definitely love to see Sheikh Rashid. जितना उनको मैंने आंध्रा प्रीमियर लीग में भी देखा है, जितना स्मार्ट में भी देखा है, he has मतलब he is a very conventional number 3 that way. Gairs का भी उतना हमने वहां पे नहीं देखा. He is more of a late 120s, early 130 strike rate वाला batter. But I think जितना भी returns आपको हुड्डा त्रिपाठी से मिला था, worst case क्या उतना ही करेगा ना, because उससे नीचे तो जा नहीं सकता. तो मौका देख लो. That's how I would look at it. I'd basically अगर fail होना ही है ना, I'd much rather fail with trying a new guy in than going to the मतलब पता है कि ये तो पहले से fail होता आया है. It seems Patirana magic has been. How about Nathan Ellis? Ashutosh, I was of that opinion after the RCB game, but कल उसने अच्छा किया यार डेथ में. दोनों और उसका बढ़िया था. So I think he's back. Also, his round arm action is a lot more round arm now. It's not a lot more straight as overarm that we spoke about earlier. So a conversation that I had with someone else also was maybe around the fact that SA20 में pace bounce ज़्यादा आया था, which is why he tweaked his action a bit यहाँ पे, because he wants to skip the ball, he wants to nail those yorkers. Maybe he's gone back to his typical round armish action. So Sheikh Rashid is someone I would love to watch. Vansh Bedi, I really enjoyed watching him, but I think he's more of a number 7, number 8, number 6 वो वाली जोन में आता है जहाँ पे कोई slot vacant नहीं है फिलहाल. Slot vacant सिर्फ ऊपर ही होगा. अगर कोई vacant होता है तो वो ऊपर होगा. I don't think Vansh Bedi ऊपर मतलब that is a bit of a punt. I don't think it's worth taking right now. अगर वो लेते हैं तो I'll be happy to see him back there. Sheikh Rashid for sure. He's also been a part of the CSK setup for 2-3 years. Mega auction में भी फिर से खरीदा है तो clearly they've seen some potential in him. That's for sure. Now it's all about just giving him a go, yaar. Like I think that's where Chennai needs to take a leaf out of Mumbai's page या Mumbai's book. कि भाई मुंबई तो किसी को भी मिलते हाँ इसको ले लो उसको ले लो अरे वो कॉलेज गेम में अच्छा क्या था इसको एक गेम दे दो ट्राई करो एक बार. I'm not saying इतना भी एक्सपेरिमेंटल बनो बट एक गेम तो ट्राई करके देख लो ना. ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या हो जाएगा. Like that's my whole point because your experienced players are clearly not working anyways.
CSK have BC next by the looks of it. Next, coming to you, if you had their 11 and there's no Stephen Fleming to make the calls, you're the coach. Who's your 11 that day against DC?
I don't see too many changes there given the squad. I have a very interesting option with Vansh Bedi, which I don't know if you will agree. Don't start with Vijay Shankar. Keep Vansh Bedi also as an option and then send him before Jadeja. If Dubey gets out early, send him before Jadeja. If Dubey doesn't get out, then send Vijay Shankar. I think they'll have to start being... it is something I can... Sorry to say it in between. We are coming up with a video where we've spoken about this at length. What is Chennai's problem? So that is... wahan pe bhi we have explored some options. So I think they'll have to surprise teams. I don't think they're doing it now. And something that Somesh said, I'll put him... say that right now, it's becoming very easy to predict what CSK will do. So that is not a place where any team would want to be. So that is what I would want to do. In terms of changes, radical to think that Ashwin बैठ जाएगा, Anshul Kamboj will play, which means Jamie Overton doesn't have to bowl. It's not happening. So थोड़ा practical भी हूँ मैं what is likely to happen. And so yeah, I'm really interested in that Vansh Bedi angle because I genuinely feel if they get a spin hitter, because Dubey hasn't come off. If Dubey doesn't come off, you need additional 1-2 more player because if the set batter bats deep, then you choose Vijay Shankar. So I feel they'll have to be a thoda more flexible with that approach because any which ways you're not going to use him when on the field, Vijay Shankar. Tum use karoge with the bat only. So let Shivam Dubey be on the field. Don't start with Vijay. Keep that option open like JT had with Rutherford, Phillips and others. Go down that route.
I actually agree with this because yesterday also, in fact, something I mentioned when Shivam Dubey got out was, agar Shivam Dubey ke badle tab even Rutraj had gotten out now, I don't think it would have affected them so much because Shivam and Vijay need to be paired together. Vijay is, I think, an above average pace hitter. I don't think people credit him enough. I personally rated him decently. Pace ke samne, he's a more than handy batter. Shivam to spin ka pata hi hai. If Shivam gets out, using Vansh Bedi as that Shivam Dubey substitute, I think that is worth considering. Basically, the idea is pair a pace hitter with a spin hitter, which is why even we earlier discussed कि MS Dhoni को थोड़ा ऊपर भेज दो, MS and Rutraj together. It would make it difficult for bowlers to target or plan, or the opposition captain to plan कि अभी किसको डालें, क्योंकि दोनों में से एक तो कम से कम मार पाता है. अगर आप धोनी जडेजा एक साथ पैर करते हो, जैसे कल हुआ, वही होगा. So that's basically fundamental same ही है भाई. It's cricket 101. You want to complement, batters need to complement each other so that they ensure that bowlers can't get away very easily. That's simple. That's as simple as that.
Okay, super. I will read some comments out right now because, of course, you guys have been speaking for a while, and also some good questions coming through. Sarvanan, I will take yours in the 12th man section. We just finished discussing HRH, so we'll come back to that in just a bit. But good question, and like this video, definitely going to answer that one. And I'm going to take this one as well from Aditya Button, the 12th man for Nikhil. Ashwin's homecoming, not so successful. Any reason to that? And another belter from Cricket Info. Agree or not, Emma has the best scouting team. Neeta Ambani came out with a quote saying, this is nursery of cricket. MI with now producing so many talents in the years going by. Closing up this finishing CSK chat, finishing with Asim Hans's response in the comments saying aggressive approach is what they need to change. And Masrana asking, where can I get that OG RCB jersey? It's called having networks and contacts. But look, that's a low-key flex. Right, talking about RCB, will there be a new winner in the IPL? Is it the IPL new era like the thumbnail suggests? DC are 2 on the trot. RCB are 2 on the trot. Punjab are looking good to probably beat LSG tomorrow, which we'll talk about as well. So, Akshay, you went on your bingo card to see RCB play the final and a new winner. Do you think it'll be RCB, DC, Punjab, or like Nick said earlier, lot can change? This is just the start of a new season.
Yeah, I mean, मैं तो auction के बाद ही बोल रहा था RCB, DC, Punjab तीनों आएंगे मेरे. Like, I'm hoping that they come as what I said then. But during the season preview, I really felt that all these three sides haven't done too badly. So I think they stand a very good chance. And the way they've begun, again, well begun's a job half done is what they say. But in the case of the IPL, I don't think that's very true because 14 game ka season is 2 months long. So you need to hang in there. But so far, so good from them. They've gotten there. They are the three sides that have actually gotten close to their actual or ideal playing spells very quickly. So that is very well done for them. I'll give them brownie points for that. Now it's all about ensuring कि जो भी है options, they don't have to be too funky. They also need to ensure that the players are in form, no injuries come in. So there are too many variables there, so it's very hard to say right now कि होएगा कि नहीं. But so far, by the looks of it, good start. So fingers crossed. I hope all these three sides are able to make it. If it's LSG with these three making it to the top four now, भाई मैं तो रो देगा because I've always admitted अगर RCB नहीं तो एक new winner चाहिए भाई बस. That's it.
Just imagine if LSG do join DC, RCB and PBKS, all will have new captains to take them into new storylines with regards to what is the legacy that they want to leave behind. Akshay Patel's just got the gig, similar with Patidar and similar, of course, with Punjab and Shreyas Iyer, who looked deadly in that game against GT. Nix, I'll come to you about DC first. And your beloved KL Rahul got a game, 5-15, but they also took their catches. Stark took a fifer. And it was pretty much Delhi's day out. And Shubh was texting me after the game. He was like, bhai, ye to Delhi nahi hai, because Delhi Capitals normally fluff their lines. But what's been the real change you've seen in Delhi? Forget the captain. Is there anything else? Is it Kevin Peterson? Is it maybe a few other people that we're not talking about?
So many bad jokes in mind with show, daily fluffing lines and all of that. But okay, we'll keep it for some other day. I think it's very good. It was, I would honestly say, it was very, very when he hit that six, of Shami. That this yehi chahiye bhai life mein. And to me, what was very special also when Ashutosh, after that win, said, I want dedicating this to KP. Bhai, upon KPFC, ever since 2008, भाई अपन इंग्लैंड का जर्सी पहन के गए थे वानखेड़े में when KP hit 186. So always been on that route. I think they are coming together well. I said this in the preview as well. To me, a lot depends on how Stark does, and which is what is very good for them that Stark stuck with that fifer, because you look at Mukesh and other options, Natarajan has had an injury. So you do not want to go down that route where you are suddenly looking for alternatives. So I think Stark doing well is very, very important for them. So there your first pacer is sorted there. You have good backup in Mukesh. Natarajan will eventually come through. And that batting. At this point in time, the only doubt there is JFM ka form. Ab wo Kotla jayega. Let's see what he does at Kotla. Eventually, it's about impact, dude. If he comes off in 3 games out of the remaining 11, जितना भी बचा, his job is done, bro. 12 games में से 3 game भी चलता, his job is done. So I'm positive about KL, and I can, without saying bad for RCB, I'll say I can see Shreyas and KL in that final. RCB, Rajat might just miss out in that penalty, but is what it feels like. Shabash, good. Thank you for the ritual. Good on you.
Damn it. Shit. Anyway, with DC, I was just kind of going through some of the squad and players that they can bring in if there is, of course, more power they need. And Karuna really fascinates me. I think he can get a gig some point of the season. But so far, everything's worked for them, Akshay. And the question in the chat, someone said, can they go and be CSK right now? Can they go to these difficult places that they've normally struggled at and win there? Because that'll be really setting a statement. Really be throwing the cat amongst pigeons there. So do you think DC can travel well?
I mean, they have a decent side. There's no reason to not believe that. And especially going to Chepauk, जहाँ पे कुलदीप और अक्षर ball करने वाले हैं. So I mean, there's no reason to not believe that. But where I'll hold my thoughts on DC is the fact that both the games they've gotten to do what they wanted to do. They won the toss, they opted to bowl first, they were chasing and they chased. So we'll have to still wait and watch how do they sort of, do when, they're expected to bat first, or when they don't win the toss. So kya hota hai wahan pe? How do they recalibrate? Faf du Plessis has gotten off to starts in both the games, but he's not converted them. That's not something we used to see with RCB. So almost every game, वो भाई साहब ऐसा 50-60 मार रहे हैं. Like it had become a habit कि फाफडू आ रहा है तो भाई फाफडू 30 बॉल में 50-60 मार के जाएगा. JFM थोड़ा अभी भी देखना बाकी है. The way he batted yesterday. I'm forgetting who. Again, I'm really sorry. Someone on Twitter only mentioned this. JFM is basically learning this rule of cricket. You either die. निखिल भाई आपने ट्वीट किया था क्या ये या किसी और ने?
Jared Kimber.
Yeah, Jared Kimber. You either die an aggressive batter or you live long enough to see yourself become an anchor. So JFM के साथ वो हुआ. So we have to still wait and watch. He's not been in the greatest of form himself. So how do they then look at it? Because अगर JFM बाहर जाता है, then they'll have to massively overhaul their batting order, their combination, because overseas opener ऐसा कोई और है नहीं. तो मतलब एक इंडियन ओपनर को ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा. फिर मिडिल ऑर्डर में कौन आएगा? So that will sort of open a Pandora's box. So they'll have to figure that out. So there are still मतलब है, but good for them. So far so good. Everything's working. Yes, Nikhil bhai.
I think I just have a random idea. If at all they can replace Brook with somebody as an opener, no? If at all JFM goes completely haywire, they could get somebody in that spot and make him
Luan Pretorius.
नाम नहीं लेना इधर.
I'm looking at their overseas. Who else do they have?
Right now they have
no, they don't have anyone.
No, I'm saying even
खरीदा भी तो नहीं है.
If they want to slot.
Porel ही जा सकता है. Porel जा सकता है ऊपर if needed. He's opened for them last year. But वही ना, फिर Porel जाता है तो नंबर 3 पे कौन आएगा? करुण अगर वहां पे आता तो हाँ, तो फिर इंडियन कौन? Who's the Indian option going out? तो वही ना, because Ashutosh Sharma can't go out. Vipraj Nigam has really done very well. अगर Vipraj Nigam बाहर जाता है तो that's unfair on him. So there are.
Porel goes out for Karun. You slot Karun in as an opener, and then I would probably stick Donovan Ferreira there later on in the middle order.
And number 3, but number 3 पे फिर bat कौन करेगा?
No, I push everyone up by one position. So KL goes up, this one goes up.
तो fill कहाँ कर रहे हो?
Sorry?
कहीं तो fill करना पड़ेगा ना. You pushed everyone up. So where are you filling that vacant slot? If everyone goes one slot,
could bat at 5 or 6 as a floater, or is that too much of an ask for him?
I mean, I personally not rated him very highly. He's okay. I don't know if he's the kind of batter they need. And also, why would you move everyone? यार एक तो एक पूरा मतलब अच्छा जा रहा batting lineup, पूरे batting lineup की क्यों आप BC कर?
Actually, although they wanted to get what they wanted to do, C-Slab, I will start 7 for 3. Where Avanish had a second silence. Wonder what he has to say about that, and still done 200 plus. Again, the fact that DC was 7 for 3, they had brains in that sort of lineup because they batted deep. They had an impact batter. And Vipraj Nigam decided to say, you know what's my lucky day, I'm going to go for it. But Tristan Stubbs, at that point in time, Tristan Stubbs was still there. And he kind of, whatever, counter-attacked his way out. But 7 for 3 is not as bad as 18 for 5. You're still relying on your 4 and 5. That's my point there. So anyway, they got Shanaka too saying Thirupta Mauk.
It's not been confirmed there. He's just
training with them. Yeah.
So we don't know.
Okay.
Last year, Otniel Bartman was also training with them, but they never really signed him later on.
Gulbadin's also obviously played for them in the Dubai camp. Yeah. So not going to happen here. DC, but look, they're going to be doing good things, and we'll talk about them in the weeks to come for sure. Let's move on to Punjab and then finish off with RCB. Punjab, guys, really quickly, let's preview that game, LSG Punjab. Do you think Punjab actually can not just start like a Formula One car, win 6 games, and then huff and puff to get to the playoffs, but who do you think is going to be the key for them? The way Iyer is playing, it is him, but the way everyone chipped around Iyer is good to see. Priyan Charya came off, Shashank Singh came off. Players that you normally wouldn't say that they would get you those 40-50 bankers. Still one game in, but what do you guys like about them, and do you think they can get the points at the Ekana tomorrow? Nick, I'll start with you.
Bro, Shreyas has started with a bomb. I can't recollect last time Shreyas batted like that. 9 sixes, bro.
I think it was his
It's not
best
that he
IPL
can't.
knock.
Clearly, I think by some distance, as convincing and as flawless, to put it that way. So, very, very happy for it. I think their fortunes will, I feel, invariably depend on how their overseas bits shape up, because I feel, though I was very happy to see Omar Zai, slightly surprised in terms of usage, but Janssen found a way to bowl full balls at times. South Africa would be crying their hearts out. कि भाई, किधर था तू? मतलब 2 साल, 2 championships, we've had that trouble with you. But again, a good franchise where we will have to see how Maxwell Stoinis shape up, because I think Stoinis will come back home in terms of facing LSG. So to me, I think Shreyas holds the key again. Everybody around him can play the big shots. It's up to Shreyas to really, I would say, anchor, be the accelerating anchor, so to say. So I'm looking forward to Shreyas. I'm also looking forward to how attacking uh, Punjab will be against Mitch Marsh and Nicholas Puran. I think they haven't been, I wouldn't say tested. Marsh is at 250s. Great. Very good for him. But yeah, let's see. I think I'm looking at plans, possible plans to these two guys, especially.
Okay, Akshay, what do you think about Punjab? Just one game. Are people just jumping over the top purely because it's a new team? Ponting's there. It's an Australian mix of guys. Shreyas has played the best innings of his life, like I said. And it's still early days. Punjab has not proven anything, right? I mean, I understand why people are still losing their shit about RCB because they've cracked it at 2 tough venues. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that we would get 4 points out of these first 2 games. We would have slipped up either at Chepauk or in the Gardens more often than not Chepauk. So coming back to Punjab, do you think people have just got carried away because they were part of the game which saw the most runs this year? And of course, they posted the highest total this year. So people already intimidated that was a statement win. Or do you think, hold on, there is a lot of games left and Punjab might not be out of the woods as yet?
A bit of both. I'm still backing them to make it to the playoffs. And Shreyas Iyer, really, man, mighty impressed. I don't think I've seen him bat so well since probably even 2015, 2016. Yeah, matlab, the way he was attacking some of those deliveries, matlab, maza hi aa gaya ekdam. But I still think there are a few sort of pointers they would want to take note of. Priyank Sharia, I know the knock looks good on paper, 47 or 23, great youngster, lovely and all of it. थोड़ा सा शायद मेरा भी bias है. I still think मतलब season preview में भी मैंने बोला था I don't think he's ready right now. And even in that knock, barring that one straight drive जो उन्होंने मारा था, there were a lot of edges, there was a lot of luck going his way. So we'll still have to hold our horses on him firstly. And not that they need to worry too much. They've still got enough backup options available, both in the Indian contingent and the overseas contingent if needed. Secondly, with Vaishak Kumar, again, chuffed to bits that he did well. I love the fact that they had clarity in their thought process ki boss ye plan hai, ye hame karna hai. I don't think he got the execution as right as he would have wanted to. It was just one of those days where it came off. I think with a better batter or even Sherpin Rutherford himself on another day, he would have probably copped a few blows. Those full tosses being missed and all of it, वो नहीं होता usually. But he again, that's the nature of the game. वो होता है सबके साथ. Yeah, I agree with Andy as well. It's too early to just say one way or the other. But I'm just saying कि मतलब अभी के लिए ये थोड़े हैं जो उनको अभी भी देखना पड़ेगा. So ठीक है, but so far so good, scoring 243. Getting wickets also up front. Arshdeep Singh also didn't do too badly. You have someone like a Chahal in the middle overs. I really like that. Yeah, that tactically, I think they got it bang on. Fresh pair of legs at the 15th over, similar to what we see in football. Yeah, last 10-20 minutes, you see a fresh pair of legs coming in a striker, and you just try and make a move and see if you can score a goal or two. Something very similar. I don't think we've seen that often in cricket. I hope this continues. This is something that we could potentially see happening a lot more. Very interesting move. I think it is important. The reason why I also feel Vaishak succeeded was वो जब match में होते हैं ना, it's people historically what we used to think is you need to be in the zone, which is why you need to start from the beginning of the second innings and all of it. I don't think that's necessary, yaar. If you come in straight up ना, just an over before the 15th over, clear head, you've not thought too much, तुम ज़्यादा surface ये सब नहीं सोच रहे, तुम्हें पता है कि भाई मेरे को ये करना है. You've had a long chat with your coach, with your analysts and everything. I feel it is the different kind of clarity that you get with something like that. So I want to see a lot more of it. So they got that bang on. I was really happy to see that. But yeah, so far so good for them as well.
Yeah, with Vishak and that substitute, they've spoken about it. He said jokingly, I bowled in the Chinnaswamy, so anywhere else outside the Chinnaswamy, I can bowl well. And even that ground, I think none for 28 and 3 overs. There's a lot which went to the fielders, and the positioning of the fielders was pretty good. So even though he did well to bowl with the knuckle ball at times or the heavy ball, 3, 4 overs, none for 28. I think it was good. It was a good performance. GT we'll talk about in the 12th man segment. They played on Friday, and we, of course, did a watch along for that. And LSG, of course, we'll finish off talking about them in the 12th man segment as well. Lots to take still, and there's Akshay's quiz. So let's wrap it up quickly with RCB. Looking forward to their game against GT. What do you guys have to say? Because is it going to be the same Chinnaswamy curse, Akshay? They go back to the home ground. We all love seeing them play there, but it's almost like a ground that every team in the IPL loves, that they can go there, get the points. So do you think GT can cause problems with their pace attack? And more importantly, let's start with RCB. What have they done right according to you? Where have they surprised you the best as a fan analyzing it?
I like their batting approach in the last game, irrespective of wickets falling. Avanish भैया की तरह वो ऐसे सोच के नहीं गए, न्यू बैटर इन थोड़ा देखते हैं. Jitesh Sharma got a 6 of his second ball. Rajat Patidar scored a boundary of his second ball. Phil Salt scored a boundary of his first ball. So those nice small little things. Livingston also, I know, I completely was shocked in the moment कि यार तू नूर अहमद को क्यों अटैक कर रहा है? That's the one bowler you don't have to attack, and I still would say that. But I also would agree with what Dinesh Karthik had to say कि यार मतलब those tiny things matter. The fact that he took on Noor, it became easier for Jitesh on the other end. Tim David also hitting a few sixes. All in all, I like what they've done so far with the batting. Of course, bowling to yaar matlab, what I'm happy about is the fact that this is exactly what I was expecting off of them. जब auction के बाद Hazelwood, Dayal, Bhuvi, अरे भाई क्या चल रहा है ये सब? It might work for them, or else it might go horribly wrong. I'm happy that so far it's been the former and not the latter. In both the games, the bowling has been more or less very, very, very good, if not excellent. Power play bowling to bhai ekdam shandar in the second game. Very happy. Even in the first game, they started off brilliantly. 9 runs in the first few overs, and then that's where KKR started taking them on. Last game, Hazelwood, Bhuvi, both. Matlab, Bhuvi might not have gotten too many wickets and all of that, but yeah, the way he bowled, typical Bhuvi. Matlab, Bhuvi power play mein, this is what you expect of him. This is what he delivered. I'm happy with that. The one thing I'm actually looking forward to the day after is the surface. Because this is against Gujarat. Had it been any other team, I would have been like, हाँ जो last year था ना, हल्का सा green रखो. Last year second half में जैसे क्या था, ताकि तुम्हारे bowlers के पास कुछ हो. But if there's one bowling attack that you wouldn't want a green tinge, it is this. मतलब there's Prasid who's coming off a match-winning spell. There's Siraj, there's Rabada. So it's going to be very tricky, but it'll be very fascinating to see how that pans out. Whoa!
Yeah, the bowlers have been absolutely brilliant to see with regards to RCB, especially even someone like Livingston, who has been required to bowl every now and then to get certain matchups right. I think he's bowled 6 overs, got 2 wickets for just 42 runs. So economy-wise also, he's brilliant there. And Hoff has been so good. Josh, I was going to say, but Hoff, it's just been our Bumrah. He's been so accurate. And sometimes I just think to myself, we've actually done really well in the auction to get him for that amount. Everyone went for Archon, Rabada, and so on and so forth. Still early on in the days. But if this guy can play 14 games for us, he's going to be absolutely pivotal for sure. Quick prediction, RCB GT boys, how's it going to go with regards to them kicking off in the Chinnaswamy? Do you think GT can cause an upset? Nick, I'll start with you here. What do you feel?
I like how you already called it an upset. 2 people will decide the game for GT. Gill with the bat and Sai Kishore with the ball. I think if Sai Kishore can get Rajat Patidar, that will set the game.
What about Siraj? Do you think Siraj is going to have a say? Akshay, Siraj?
I have a wild feeling, so I kept very quiet about it.
It'll be insane. What do you think?
I mean, he can wreak havoc, not just Siraj, Prasid, Rabada, Tino. Agar bhai na halka sa bhi green raha, and on top of that, if Gujarat win the toss, so that's why it's a huge punt. It's something RCB will have to be very clear about, because toss will also play a huge factor if there's any bit of green, because that means the first innings will be infinitely more harder to bat on. So to bat in, apologies. So इसीलिए वो थोड़ा, you'll have to be a bit more smarter. That's where I think maybe it won't be the worst if they go for a typical flat Chinnaswamy surface, because you need to back your bowling attack to be better than theirs, firstly. And secondly, I think RCB have a more well-distributed batting order compared to Gujarat. So that's where I think RCB might work in their favor. But again, it's their call. They'll know better. And I just hope it works out well for them.
Okay, fair enough. I think RCB will win on the night, make it 3 on the trot, and GT still will probably have to iron out their wrinkles. We'll be doing fan camps, so that's to catch me around the ground at the Chinnaswamy on Wednesday. Asim says RCB favorites. GT's middle order isn't giving confidence. Let's see how that goes. GT also, if you can get the top 3, they're done for all practical purposes. Remember, a couple of injury concerns with regards to GT, Sai Sudarshan and Rashid Khan sweating in terms of their fitness. So let's see, it's a race against time or not. Rajput Amit saying, Hindi mein baat karo. Baat kar liya abhi, but now we're back to English. If you like Hindi, Bat Ball and Bear will release tomorrow or day after, or whenever these boys are putting it out.
Amit, आप शुक्र मनाओ.
अरे मतलब मैं बताऊंगा तुझको, हाँ मैं बताऊंगा.
यही सुनने को मिलेगा आपको.
It's a joke. Guys, 1 second before we go into Akshay's quiz and the best of the rest. Have to just ask you all what's on the title. The worst retention so far, still only 11-10 days of the IPL gone. What have we liked and disliked in terms of the retentions in hindsight? Give me just a couple of names. We can probably clip it out. I will ask Akshay to start here. Nikhil to go second and then me third.
I mean, it's hindsight bhi nahi hai, but Shimron Hetmeyer for me.
I was going to say Hetmeyer too. I was indicating in the watch along yesterday with you. Hetmeyer is definitely up there for me. Nix, does anyone beat Hetmeyer in terms of a silly retention in hindsight?
Tough to beat Hetmeyer. I wanted to say one of the LSG bowlers, but then you got Shardul Thakur. How do you life works in mysterious ways and you have Lord playing? So I think Hetmeyer also just for the price and not for the batter that is. So
one more name.
Too early.
Venky Iyer.
One more name. Venky Iyer, Jadeja. Venky Iyer retained thodi tha, bhai. Jadeja at 18. Again, it's the price point. Jadeja at 18 crores, looking to be a bit too expensive.
If he ends up winning 2 to 3 games on his own and Chepak, if it's turning, then I would not mind. And again with Venky also, you want to think about the price, but here auction dynamics it's just about what the retention is causing you in terms of how much sales it got. Venky's retention tha. Venky was bought at that rate. So Hetmeyer ke wajah they had to leave out Butler. So is that, I think that's the only debate that you can have. Bas.
What about people like Abhishek Porel for Delhi?
रुक जाओ भाई, 2 ही मैच हुआ है.
Too early.
Rohit Sharma for Mumbai, 16.33 crores.
Goes without saying. मतलब वो expected.
That about Jadeja, I'll say that about Rohit.
Yeah, exactly. मैं वही बोला, वो तो goes without saying. मैं वही बोला भाई. Agreed. Abanish पता नहीं आज क्या he woke up on the outside and bed or something.
No. I saw a stat about Rohit which just really infuriated me. The fact that he's got 80 single-digit scores now in IPL. That's 5 seasons, brother. That's 5 seasons. That's
most ducks, most single-digit scores. भाई साहब देखो भाई, record तो तोड़ रहे भाई. बाकी तुम मानो ना मानो, record तो तोड़े जा रहे हैं. Just not
and I know people keep saying, 19 man of the matches still, 5 trophies, 6 trophies or whatever.
आप ही बोलोगे भाई, आप ही बोलोगे, हम नहीं, हम बोलेंगे. आप ही आके आ रहे 19, हम नहीं बोलेंगे कभी. I'm Rohit Sharma. I genuinely appreciate. I don't think anyone can
again. If they bought him again, in terms of Venky Iyer.
Comment.
नहीं यार,
Venky Iyer.
What are the other ones which come to mind? NG for sure, because obviously it's luck also, which has really not been their best friend, losing all their 3 retentions to the NCA.
Too early, another name, Klaasen at 23.
No.
Again, no price point से मैं connect करके बता रहा हूँ.
Are you mad? No chance. Bro, class. You're saying Venky Iyer time दे दो, but class is the problem.
आप इतना ज़्यादा चिल्लाए कि voice फट गया, मैं सुना ही नहीं. क्या बोला?
Venky Iyer is not a problem, but Klaasen's a problem.
When did I say Venky Iyer isn't a problem? I never said anything about Venky Iyer.
Him, पोरेल को early days है, but not classic.
पोरेल को early days बोला, वेंकी अय्यर को मैं कुछ नहीं बोला, मैं कुछ भी नहीं बोला.
How are you giving Venky? I mean, Porel along
But
the
वेंकी
road.
अय्यर retention है ही नहीं ना.
But the guy in the chat was saying, the guy in the chat was saying the same thing.
Guy in the chat will say anything. Guy in the chat will say कि हाँ भाई ये लाल नहीं है तो क्या लाल नहीं है क्या, ये क्या है retention? In my opinion, if he's been bought back, bro, they're two different things.
Okay, fine. Any other retentions that you feel has been absolutely woeful? Mumbai, Chennai, LSG, SRH, Bangalore. I think all the boys have done well so far. Rajat, Kohli, Dayal.
Absolutely woeful would be difficult. And अरे भाई सर्वनन अगेन भाई डिसाइड कर लो, या तो मैं CSK हिटर हूं या SRH हिटर हूं कि सबको हिट करता हूं क्या?
Yeah, but bro, that's not right about Klaasen, bro. You can't put him in the same
line. I first of all did
he
see
asked.
हाँ
He asked.
पूछा.
ठीक है. 18 is way too much for Patirana saying.
Yeah, same. मतलब हम भी उसी दिशा से आ रहे थे, बस पूछ रहे थे. But
again we are looking. Sorry, madam. Either I'll disagree with Akshay. Ke you cannot see if it was a fairway and it was a draft. I can understand. You can say that you are overpaid. Auction dynamics, mein you are. Bhai Patirana could be someone that can win them 2-3 seasons going down the line. So sometimes your retentions are not.
Patirana is
18 है. हाँ और 11 वो 18 मांगता था, मैं उसको जडेजा का 6 उसको दे देता. It's about what he brings to the table, bhai. There are very few people like him, and you cannot just give everybody out to the market ke bhai leke ja. I don't think you should do that.
What about Narayan, Russell?
Maybe I think we are too early to maybe take a call.
Jurel for the price, even though he's made a couple of things.
Two again. बहुत
मैं तो बोलता हूँ, I तो genuinely think 14 crore is not overpriced for Jurel. वो उतना उसको मिलता मेरे हिसाब से तो.
Ayush Badani saying freaking awesome. A lot of people saying Rohit Sharma's the worst retention.
Hi, Ayush Badani बेचारा chance भी नहीं मिलता.
That's incredible. Kohli for 21. People are saying the fact that he scored 31 and 30. I mean, guys, come on. Let's see how it goes. But look, let me know. It's a combination that we want to start on the cricket.com YouTube page. We'll clip this out as well, and we'll just put this in our YouTube carousel. Right, let's move on to the best of the rest then, because there's lots to, of course, tell you about other news which is plaguing our screens. But before we do so, always what's to watch this week. Lots of stuff. LSG PBKS tomorrow, like we already previewed. There's also an episode of CDC Classics going to come out. Wednesday, RCB versus GT, and we'll be doing fan cams for that. So if you guys are going to the Chinnaswamy, meet me outside the stadium, and I'll, of course, try to put up your interviews on our platform. KKR played really quickly, and they play on Thursday. They play SRH. That'll be a belter, and we're doing watch-alongs for 3 games this week. LSG MI, the first one on Friday. Saturday, we do CSK DC, which is an afternoon game. We're skipping the Punjab RR game. And Sunday, we will be back at it doing SRH GT for another cracking watch-along. Next Monday is going to be interesting because MI-RCB, we're not doing the watch-along for that because it's a Monday. But we'll also be giving you our reactions and a recap of everything on Monday Night Live next week. So note it down, pen your calendars accordingly. And not forget the small matter of New Zealand-Pakistan ODIs if you guys are into that. We'll talk about that in the best of the rest. Right. Right, we'll just quickly talk about some of the news from the other parts of the world, if I have to put it that way. Now, Pakistan, New Zealand's going on, and so far it's been a series to forget, if I have to put it really lightly for Pakistan fans, because you look at the T20 series, they lost that really badly, 4-1. They've lost the first ODI as well by 73 runs, and there are 2 more games to play to finish their tour before the I was going to say IPL, in your dreams, Pakistan, PSL starts on the 11th of April. Nix, I'm guessing you are the only one out of 3 of us watching that, if at all. And have you seen any ball or just the highlights in the scorecards?
I mean, only saw Chapman doing Chapman stuff versus Pakistan. I think they should not play if Chapman is playing. Because I don't think it's becoming a cult of sorts. He sees Pakistan and he goes, just keeps scoring, which is, Again, good for him. I think he's not used well. I think Pakistan responded really well. A couple of very good 50s, and the collapse was completely out of nowhere. But again, I don't know what to put it down to. I think they needed 96, 249 for three something, and then they just lost their way. So lots to do. Let's see. Some of these bilaterals will have to be taken. Okay, by they are trying stuff. So let's see what they learn from it.
Okay, I mean, really going to be short and sweet with the best of the rest here, because I think you guys in the chat are like us, just all eyes on IPL and all of that. So you got that update from Nikhil and Chapman. Go do some more reading on cricket.com in terms of written analysis. But we'll take a freaking awesome start to just conclude this little short and sweet Pakistan New Zealand takeaway. He goes on to say, Akshay, Pakistan have won only one ODI in Hamilton too. They have a decent chance in the third ODI in Mount Maunganui, because visitors usually do decently there. Regardless, I don't know when was the last time Pakistan won an ODI series in New Zealand. So that's something that they'll want to take off. So let's see how that is. All you guys, meanwhile, have some belter questions. Dr. Daywalker, freaking awesome. We will take your questions and your comments in the 12th man section. I know you guys are still pouring out your chat for the worst retentions bit, but we'll come to that in just a bit. What else do we want to talk about here? I wanted to ask you guys, apparently the BCCI haven't had any meeting on taking a decision on the central contracts. Now, we understand that Virat and Rohit, after retiring from T20 internationals, won't be in that A+ contract anymore. Bumrah might still be there. Jaiswal might be upgraded. Akshay, have you seen this story? Have you heard anything on this front when the Indian contracts will be sorted out? You guys spoke about it on the women's side of things, and that's being sorted out. But for the men's, have you heard anything?
I'm surprised nothing's happened. What I've heard is actually there's been a lot of delays, a lot of apparently salaries not being paid. Thoda ye sab mein issues ho raha hai, वगैरह वगैरह. Like, so I don't know what's exactly the scene, especially because there's been a change at the helm of affairs. So it takes a bit of time, the transition phase and all of that. So right now, yeah, I haven't heard anything as such. Hopefully, the call is taken soon. Usually it happens in Feb. Pata nahi, abhi already they're running a month and a half too late. So let's hope they get it sorted as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it went on to say in one of the sources where largely the contracts will remain unchanged, and there were about 30 players in the last year's sort of contracts, and 6 in the A+. They had 4 in the A+, 6 in the A category, and 5 in the grade B. So grade C will be interesting to see how Varun Chakravarti will get his contract, and maybe Shreyas Iyer, who doesn't have a contract for Team India right now, which is absolutely insane. Right. Anything else just caught the eye in terms of world cricket news? There's 2 more, which I'll just read out. Apparently, the ECB plans to retire the Pataudi Trophy. They don't know exactly why they want to, but they want to, of course, name 2 more recent legends from the countries which, of course, have the Pataudi Trophy. So let's see if it's the 90s. Imagine they name it the Atherton Dravid Trophy, or I don't know, the Peterson Sehwag Trophy. Imagine that if they do that, because that'll just be not a good ring to it. I know it's the Vaughan Murli Trophy for Sri Lanka, Australia, the Kadir Vaughan for Pakistan, Australia. There's various ones. So let's see how that goes. Another bit of news, if you guys are listening from the West Indies, Craig Brathwaite has stepped down as West Indies Test captain. And it's also been announced that Shea Hope will lead in T20 internationals for the West Indies. So maybe it's hope to have some hope for West Indies in 2026 when they play that T20 World Cup over there. Right. It's been a long show, and let's swiftly move on to Akshay's quiz, because literally there was a winner last week, and there could be winners this week too. Right, Akshay, over to you. You had a good question last week, and there was a winner. So announce that before you take it away with your question this week.
Yep, the winner, of course, is SS98. Congratulations. And we'll also have last week's question out first. There you go. Pretty simple. I've given 3 hints. Just wanted to guess who the player is. I made my debut in 2019 and have won 2 IPL trophies so far. I've been a part of 5 IPL teams in the past, but played no more than 1 season for any of them. A batter for most parts, I've played less than 10 IPL innings in my career. Who am I? The answer, of course, is Sherfane Rutherford, who's previously been a part of the Delhi Capitals, Mumbai Indians, Sunrisers Hyderabad, Royal Challengers Bengaluru, then what? Kolkata Knight Riders, and this time around, of course, with the Gujarat Titans. So 6 teams, 5 in the past, and this is the 16. Hopefully, he'll get a lot more game time there. A lot of you got it right, but like always, just the one lucky winner. And this time around, that one was SS98. Coming to this week's question, though, there we go. Once again, very simple. I've given a list. I want you guys to firstly connect it and then identify who the missing players are. Kumar Sangakkara versus Dash, Rohit Sharma versus R. Vinay Kumar, Shane Watson versus Dash, Sanju Samson versus Shivam Mavi, Quinton de Kock versus Dash. I've given you a hint as well. Let's see if that helps you out. Hint, minimum 5 dismissals. That probably would help you, sort of gives you a nudge in the right direction, hopefully. But this time around, we've made a slight change to Howzzaat and how it will work going forward, at least for the near term. Apologies to all of you folks. I know all of you have, have reached out to us several times, and there's been a bit of a delay with us giving out the vouchers. Sincere apologies for that. There's been some sort of a delay due to, a miscommunication and all of that. We're trying to figure that out and sort it. Until then, we will try to, we've come up with a different way of doing our giveaways. Darshan, you might have, I'm not sure of that. We usually pick out a lucky winner to ensure we have more winners, more people, and all of it. Nahin to, I know we all know that you guys watch cricket a lot more, so it would, we want to make it a lot more inclusive. That's the idea. Apologies for that. Coming to the giveaway bit. So for the next couple of months, or maybe hopefully sooner or shorter, we will not be doing giveaways in the form of vouchers. What we thought is, whoever gets the right answer, one lucky winner every episode will come to the episode, will be a part of the Monday Night Live podcast. We will have you over for a couple of minutes or more based on the conversation we have. We'll chat with you. You can chat with us, ask us questions, probably question us, quiz us. We'll just have a chat with you. That'll be a nice way of doing it. And we thought we anyways wanted to, include you folks in a better way. And what better than this? So that's how we'll go forward. Hopefully, we'll have the vouchers back soon. I know all of you would be interested in that. It's understandable. But till then, this is something, since you guys have been specifically asking for as well. You've been wanting to be a part of our conversations. So, yeah, let's hope you guys get it right. And excited to chat with you guys next week.
Yeah, that'll be brilliant. We'll take this in the 12th man section. Freaking awesome for sure. And Asim Hans also has a couple of more questions to be asked in the 12th man. Right, so answer Akshay's questions in the comments. Whoever wins comes to the next week on MNL, and it'll be brilliant to see you guys on screen as well. Darshan's quickly saying that sounds a lot of fun. Actually, will you run something similar for the women's cricket podcast? We'll try doing that if there is a competition in that one as well. Right, just over 2 hours this podcast, one of the longest MNL podcasts we've done, even in a normal segue. But we'll close it out with you as ever, with regards to the 12th man segment, because there have been some good questions which we'll address in the next 10 minutes or so. Right, let's start with freaking awesome, because it was the most recent one he's put in the chat. Please say a few words about the Australia tour of West Indies, because Australia are going to play a test series in West Indies after 10 years. Also, they're going to host a pink ball test. Now, the way I look at it is it's important for them to use this series as a prep for the Ashes, because I know that is something that they could start favourites against England later on this year. But going to West Indies and seeing Australia play a test series there, always think about past memories. But the last 10, 15 years, there's been nothing. In fact, the last 20 years, there's been nothing, which is really good to write home about. The last time I remember any West Indies-Australia test series in West Indies was that 2003 test series where Sava and Chandrapal chased down 418 and so on and so forth. Prior to that, it was Lara against Australia and all those great battles that they had against McGrath Gillespie. So that's how I think it is. The pink ball test and the revenue side of things, it's very important that the West Indies start hosting Australia, England, and India much more, because if they need to keep the finance of the game alive, it's these 3 big cricketing boards who can help them. Let me give another one to the boys. And Nix, I'll come to you because there's plenty coming your way. But Asimans has one for question to Akshay. A challenge to Akshay's question. I also answered Shafin, but he played 10 innings. And the question specifically asked for someone who played less than 10 matches.
I said 10 or he's batted in 10 or less than 10 innings, to be very clear. Once again, we can have that out if you want. It was always innings, never matches, because I agree with you. He's played more matches, but he's played fewer innings. But yeah, Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay. Let's of course move on and ask questions which came earlier. Where was that question that I wanted to ask? Nikhil.
In the meantime, Darshan, we'll definitely try and do something like that with the Women's Cricket Podcast as well. Thank you so much. We'll try and do. And Sachin, we see your joke. Let's not do that here because yesterday, Avanish and I are still recovering from yesterday's laugh-a-thon. So I don't know if Nikhil Bhai knows this. Nikhil Bhai, you must have heard of that MSD joke, na? I don't know if you know what happened with us.
That's hilarious. Don't let me go down to that path again. I just burst out with laughter for sure, which is madness. Adyabar had this one. Ashwin's homecoming not so successful. Any reasons to that?
Nikhil Bhai,
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's been straightforward in terms of adapting. The expectations in their mind and what's happened is different. I don't think he was I think he was decent in that RCB game. He didn't bowl after getting Padikkal out, if I'm not wrong. So I don't know what to make of that because I keep saying for spinners to do well, you need captains to trust them. Now, captain trusted him against RR. It backfired, but I don't think he had much option. He had to bowl to Nitish. So he eventually got him out, but maybe the damage was too far done. So let's wait. I don't expect him to take wickets on roads. That would be unfair. But on wickets with slight hold, they haven't bowled on surfaces that aid that kind of bowling. So I'll wait for that. And homecoming में एक ही match हुआ है. If he continues to have 4 or 5 more matches, then 100% yes, we'll have to think. And maybe he'll only come out and tell us why he's not had a good time.
Okay. Akshay answered this one from Sarvanan, who said, Kaman said that they would play aggressive only, but in my opinion, one of the top three should play a long innings, or Nitish should play long innings, and Shami should start taking wickets in the power play. So again, it comes back to someone putting their hand up and be like, cool, everyone wants to lose their shit around me, do that, but I will be sensible.
मतलब that is understandable ना. एक तो चाहिए, वही तो बोला था. You just need one batter. I'm not saying you need more such batters, just one such batter who has the ability. Even with Nitish, we've seen that, of course, with his test 100, but in white ball cricket, I haven't seen him, willing to spend some time. So if he can do that, then great. Then he should have shown that yesterday. What yesterday has shown is that probably Nitish is also someone who wants to attack bowlers. In which case, it's hard to curb those instincts. Yeah, if you are a naturally aggressive batter, you are a naturally aggressive batter. You cannot curb your instincts and shed that sort of role. It's going to be hard. Abhi dekhna, they have a few options in their squad, so dekhna padega if they use any of them.
Okay, listen, if you guys are watching this, please quickly like this podcast because it's going to get over in just a matter of minutes. And I realize that lots of people, you guys might be watching the game and you'll tune into this later for your daily cricket fix. But we have spoken about different things. If you just have joined us, worst retentions, is it IPL's new era with Delhi, Punjab, and RCB doing so well? And of course, CSK down in the dumps, or like Nikhil said, a long time still to go this season. Sky just scooped his way to get off the mark for 6. And Mumbai, I think, are probably pocketing the points in this one as we speak. Speaking of Mumbai, Cricket.com asked us earlier, agree or not, Emma has the best scouting team. Now, there's fair evidence to prove that. Bumrah and Hardik stand tall immediately. There's other examples to cite who, of course, come out of Mumbai and made their debuts for India. Akshay, would you rival that by saying RCB, CSK, anyone else?
दो ऐसे टीम का नाम दिया जिनको तो मैं definitely नहीं लेता इसमें. See, where I think what I will definitely say is, at least in the recent past, I wouldn't call it so much a scouting masterclass as much as it is the coaching staff giving them opportunities. Scouting तो हर कोई कर ही रहा है यार. Everyone has players. अभी CSK technically has scouted Vansh Bedi. Now it's all about giving him a cap, for instance. वो cap, that's where MI has been a lot better. But even that, I sometimes wonder, is it because they actually wanted to give them caps, or is it because they were forced to? Had Bumrah been fit for the last 4 years, would Akash Madwal ever have made his debut? Would Anshul Kamboj have made his debut? Would Satyanarayana Raju, or even tonight Ashwini Kumar? So there are a lot of other reasons that go into it, but of course, I'm not taking any credit away from them. Just saying कि वो सबके साथ नहीं होता. CSK is winning titles with their approach that does not need, new names, then why will they scout names or why will they give caps to inexperienced players? So that plays a role a bit. So that's all. But yeah, I do agree with you. They have the best scouting team. I'll actually throw in SRH's name as well. They've also done a very good job. They've also unearthed not just gems, but a couple of the names that they have in their setup as well. Unfortunately, Sanveer Singh didn't get enough game time. He was someone I really wanted to watch a lot more of. Now with Aniket Verma earlier, with Nitish Kumar Reddy, I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting at least Zishan Ansari, even for that matter, Jatavet Subramaniam, the name they brought in last year. So I think they've also done a fairly decent job. So credit where it's due. They should also get some, and LSG as well. Apologies. Vijay Dahiya with LSG has done a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. Ayush Badoni, Mayank Yadav, Digvesh Singh Rathi for that matter, even Prince Yadav, giving them opportunities. That's all.
But
That's
if you're talking about LSG in that regard, then I'll throw RR in there, because RR over the years has been a fantastic conveyor belt in Indian cricket.
You have to. No, even if I don't say LSG, apologies. If anything, it's a guffaw on my part. RR definitely. RR is right up there with MI, if anything.
RR been top. Darshan adding to this conversation saying MI scouts are fantastic, but I think the implementation has been a little iffy. Besides Tilak, very few made a big Kamlin mega auction for everything. RCB, on the contrary, are probably the worst when it comes to scouting, saying Dave, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We're almost wrapping up this particular show. We have a few more to take. Dr. Dave Walker saying, you guys reviewing GT and LSG? We are. I will finish on that. Freaking awesome has one for Knicks, which I'll give him. Without dropping a spinner, how can CSK manage the power play? Khalil is bowling really well in that phase. Who else can bowl 3 overs along with Khalil? Patirana needs to bowl the death. Would you use him in the power play?
I would have definitely used him to run in the power play yesterday, but that's only me. Because I think you needed somebody with express pace to trouble Nitish on that short ball. You can't expect Jamie Overton to bowl that over the wicket and get him on the short ball. So it is something they'll have to find a way. You will have to start using Jadeja also. Sometimes I just feel after a point of time you are stereotyped into a role, which should not be the case. If the situation demands you to bowl there, you should go out there and try. So I think, to be very honest, Khalil is bowled too well. To be honest, I feel almost sad for him that he hasn't had the support, because he's bowled very well. So he could bowl 3. Ashwin will definitely bowl 1. Pathirana can bowl 1. It's about that one extra over which your pacer can bowl. I think going down the line, we could see Anshul Kamboj bowl, but that will come at the expense of one of the spinners. So actually, Noor can also bowl, and Noor has bowled in 2 overs. So they have to do it. They just have to read the pitch well, and then they can use the right resources.
Okay, fair thoughts. Let's see how that unfolds against Delhi Capitals. Chennai play next against them. Finally, Dr. Dave Walker has been begging for us to talk about GT and LSG, because it's been a long-ish MNL, and we've spoken about all the teams in bits and pieces, but we'll just finish on GT and LSG. LSG, look, playing tomorrow at home. Nicholas Purin, 70 of 26, made us think whether he's the best batter right now in the league or there are other contenders there. And even though they've not had their best bowlers and they've lost all of them due to injuries, good to see Prince Yadav take his chance. Good to see Digvesh Rathi take his chance. LSG, again, I feel they lost that game to Delhi purely because Pant had some slip-ups as a wicketkeeper, tactically got it wrong. Otherwise, it would have been a different narrative. They would have beaten Delhi. It wouldn't have been an Ashutosh miracle. They actually did really well to beat SRH at home, where everyone was writing them off. And now they go back to face Punjab at the Kana. So a quick word from both of you all on LSG. Akshay, I'll start with you. You've spoken about all the debutants coming to the fore, but what is key for them? Is it Puran and Pant? Is it as simple as them, or is it Eminem, which is not the rapper, but the combination of the opening partnership, Marsh and Markram?
Before anything, it'll be the surface. I'm excited to see what sort of a surface will Lucknow come up with tomorrow, because the WPL was a lot better compared to last IPL, and they would want something similar because their top order batters, even Markram for that matter, who, despite being a very good player of spin, hasn't really been that effective, against spin in the last few seasons of IPL. That's where I think Marsh and Markram would hope ki surface utna zyada ye na ho and spinners do not wreak havoc. But on the flip side, if these two do get out, they've got someone like a Puran waiting in the wings. So that's also not too bad. So it'll be interesting. And also with the bowling attack, importantly, spinners mein Digvesh Singh Rathi has done well. I'm hoping Manimaran that gets a go ahead. Yeah, I was very disappointed कि SRH के सामने ऐसा left-handers है तो मतलब Siddharth is not your run-of-the-mill slow left-arm bowler. Yeah, he's got a lot of variations, especially with the new ball. I hope he gets the new ball tomorrow. So that's someone I'm looking forward to. Baki, yeah, surface mainly. I'm hoping Siddharth comes in. Prince Yadav got his Yorkers bang on. That's what he was known for. That's what he did in the DPL T20 as well. That's when we also got to interview him. Do check that out on our website. He was with RCB as a net bowler last year. So he's had that bit of experience coming from the streets of Delhi, bowling tennis ball. Bowling with the tennis ball to now playing leather ball cricket with the likes of Pantanpur, and he's come a long way for sure. So excited for them.
Okay, LSG to beat Punjab tomorrow or no?
Oh भाई difficult भाई सरफेस नहीं पता कुछ नहीं पता क्या बोलूं मैं. It's okay. I'll just say no. I'll say no for now. But no clue. बाद में don't hold me to it. No. I'm just saying because the option है 50-50 का chance है. No.
That's how the world works, my friend. Unfortunately, we're all experts and analysts, and we pop up on YouTube channels, so our expectations and predictions will be held hostage. Now, I'll finish on the GT regard with Knicks. Like I said, Rashid and Sai, if you take them out of this GT team, are there massive voids to fill if they're injured in the first place? And Prasidh came back, had a really good game after a stinker in the first game. And Siraj, of course, with that ball to row, can, of course, get into the RCB heads a little bit, playing for them previously and all of that. So a real quick one on GT. How do they stand before going into RCB, and how do you review them after their first two games?
I think they've exceeded expectations, to be very honest. Especially that 240 chase. You don't know, or you didn't expect them to come that close, but they did because, again, the top order really came good for them. So I think they'll just want to continue that. Their usage of everybody apart from the top three, I think, will decide how far they go, because like we said in the preview, it has to be like the first season that GT had. Every player used in a very specific role smartly for a specific purpose. So that is what I'm looking forward to from GT. And I really cannot be more chuffed that Sai Kishore is getting games. And that stare to Hardik Pandya, it is something I'll keep with me for a while.
It
Good
is
fun.
Indeed. I got that on my bingo card, right? And I also got one more bingo card thing ticked off today, because if you guys just saw Ryan Rickleton 6 early on in this chase, there was a heck of a catch from a Mumbai lad in the crowd. Right, guys, we've almost spoken for 2.5 hours in this podcast. Regularly, we try to curtail it to an hour and a half or two, but we've given you about 47 minutes extra. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Dave Walker saying Lord Shardul Thakur has to get around 30 to 35 wickets if they have to get into the playoffs. And Cricket for also saying Surya finishes off in style. Yeah, we finished off in style with MNL as well, ending with Mumbai and KKR ending as well. A one-sided game, if there ever was. MI winning by 8 wickets. And the first points for the MI Pulton this year. Thank you, Akshay. Thank you, Nikhil. I think we'll enjoy our off days in the next couple of days before it gets into another hectic Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. Catch all of it in cricket.com. We'll put the time codes out in case you guys have just jumped onto this pod. But quickly drop a like here. And also all the comments of Akshay's quiz can happen right after we end the stream. Thank you for your time. That's all we have in this one. Cheers.